All right, everyone. I got a special surprise for everyone here today.
It's me.
Mario.
It is not Mario. It is not Zenith. It is not Dill. You were familiar with all these faces. But, okay, this is Good Friends, Good Games. And here's a special surprise. We have a new member of the family here today. I'm going to go drop the screen now. Boom. Everyone, welcome Everis, who's in the bottom left-hand corner in the audio world. Welcome Leverett. In the audio world.
Other ways then, other way.
I'm distracted. Sorry. Welcome, Everis, everyone, to Good Friends, Good Games. She is our new friendly face of the family here. Everis, go ahead and take a moment to introduce yourself to everyone out there.
My name is Everis, and I'm. I was trying to come up with a good joke, but I couldn't come up with one. So I'm a person, and I play video games.
Okay, I was hoping you would drop the joke right now. Like you're like, oh, that's the joke, and then go through it.
No, you know what? It's like welcome to our new member, to our alcoholics, whatever. It's like my name is Everest and I'm an alcoholic. But I couldn't think of a word to fill in the alcoholic part, and so now I'm like I'm lost and drowning my own joke.
Yeah, this is no longer a podcast; it's an intervention. That's why.
That's what I was looking for. I was like the intervention, and you introduce the new person, and it's like, hello, my name is Everest and I'm an alcoholic.
And then that's when me, as the lead of the group, I'm like, it's okay. We're all friends here. You can tell us.
Missed opportunity. I'm Everest and I am ass garbage.
I suggested that. Oh, thanks, Dill.
Wait, what was that little thing that just popped up on our screen?
Nothing.
Wait, what was that? There was like literally a little like weird looking like squirrely smiley face up on the screen.
For whose?
Do you know about the new update for Discord?
Oh,
I don't. There's an update for Discord?
Discord now has a soundboard.
Oh.
No way.
And I hate it.
You hate it, you said?
Yes, because I'm just out here hanging out with Dill, and then all of a sudden I just hear farts and screaming in my ears. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Well.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Well, to be fair, Dill's going to make life miserable now because I have to figure out a way to edit all these farts and everything into the podcast because they won't even pick up. Okay.
Funny.
That's funny. I mean, it'll all be inside joke. People will be like, why are they randomly laughing? Just like
I didn't know it actually appeared on the video as well. So
it appeared on the video, but all we're gonna hear is like, I'm Everest, I'm an alcoholic, and then Dill laughing. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's not good.
That is not good to laugh at that.
It's a bit of dark humor. We're all funny.
Yeah.
What's your excuse? Oh, I'm British. Sorry.
That is true. I can excuse my British card can be used here because we are all alcoholics here.
I was informed by Everest that I must come with questions.
Okay.
Girl, I need to know your macros, and I need to know them now because you are looking swole and you are looking strong.
Oh my God.
Let me guess, 200 grams of protein?
No, I'm not. No, it's actually, you don't really want to go overboard with the protein because it's not needed. Oh my God, we're going to have a nutrition discussion here.
No, we don't have to have a nutrition discussion. I was literally just saying you're looking swole and buff, and I just wanted to know what you were doing.
Yeah, I've actually been pretty terrible about keeping up with my nutrition. I've only recently started tracking again. Before that was just intuitive, but thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a heck of a time at the gym.
Tell me, exactly how much protein is in a serving of ass garbage?
Over 9,000?
Nice.
9,000? That's a lot of protein.
Nice.
Wow.
I know. That's how I make my gains.
Yeah, if you want big muscles, all I got to do is just eat ass. And skate fast.
Eat ass 24/7, baby.
Jesus Christ, guys. It depends on person to person. High quality ass garbage will have more protein.
Everest just got here. Come on.
I mean, technically, it counts as 185 a day.
Okay, on a serious note, to relieve the tensions here, Everis, we're excited to have you. We appreciate you.
If there's any, no, go ahead.
If there was any indications of like, is this person going to fit with this group here? The pre-discussion here already indicated that Everis is a perfect fit. Leshki, welcome. We hope you are enjoying motherhood right now.
Hi,
Your babies are adorable.
Yay.
Yeah, because I think the main criteria is who would put up with both Zenith
Me.
and Dill.
Yeah.
Me mainly.
Hannah's already quit.
Yeah, true. I don't blame her.
I'm not doing this.
I don't blame her.
If there's anything to know about me and this podcast and the vibe that I'll provide, it's that I don't know shit. I don't know anything. My whole thing about me is that I'm playing catch up on video games. So, you know, I can't even remember the last time that I played a video game on like release week or release month even. Like when Breath of the Wild came out, I played it like maybe 6 months after the release.
I didn't play Breath of the Wild until like a year after the release.
See, you're
Well,
not
part
alone.
of that was because I didn't have a Switch.
Well,
Same.
that's
So
a
that
good way
was
of going about
problem
it, too.
number one.
Because if you go rush into something really quickly, you can burn yourself out. And then obviously if you're streaming it, you run the risk of people coming in and spoiling it for you. If you take your own time with it, play catch up with it, then people are just going to relatively leave you the hell alone.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. But it's like I started playing video games when I was like 14 or 15. And so that whole, you know, earlier generation of video games I didn't have any access to. My first console was a PC, and I played Lord of the Rings online for like a good 6 hours a day. And that was my first, like, when I would say my first official video game. Like I played plenty of other stuff at other people's houses and whatnot, and you know, that was the first, like, I was like, okay, this is fun. I'm gonna devote way more time of my life to this. So and then when I started up on Twitch, that's really when I started to diverge into like RPGs and, you know, whole other realms of video games. So a lot, it's not so much that I'm playing catch up and then I'm late for releases, but like I'm making up for the fact that I missed on like 10 years of really good video gaming. So that's kind of my jam. So a lot, I'll do my best to contribute toward certain video games, but it's like a lot of it's gonna be like, wait, huh, what? I don't know that. You know what I mean?
That's perfectly okay here.
That is fine.
I'm by no means any expert either. So
I'm a dumbass.
we're just honestly the whole concept here, and this has always been the whole concept from the beginning, and it's one of the reasons that you are here, is that we're just friends that play video games and we talk about the video games we play.
Mm-hmm.
And we're good.
And we're good. We're good. So
Yeah, we're good.
we enjoy it. So I do have a serious question for you.
Sure.
So you just said how you started when you were 14.
I did.
What's that one game that you played and then like you realize, oh crap, this is going to change my whole outlook on video games forever? What's
That's
that one
really
that made
sticky.
you hooked? Like you're like, okay, I'm in.
I played MMOs for a really long time, but I wouldn't say that that's what really hooked me. I would say Skyrim was. And I would say Skyrim was. That's really when I was like, oh my gosh, I am this character and then I am traversing into an entirely new world that I get to explore. This is really dope. And so then I just got absorbed into that whole type of game. So open world large scale RPGs is my jam.
Mine, like way back in the day, was, I want to say it was probably the one that really hooked me was Super Mario World. And then like that was when they started introducing like all the secret like star levels and all that kind of stuff and all these little, you know, mysterious things you could find. And then just sitting there with a Super Nintendo and like all Christmas morning just plowing through this game. And I'm like, this is awesome. And then, stuff came along like Super Metroid, which is still one of my like favorite video game intros ever. It's all pixelated and it looks cheesy by today's standards, but just the music and everything makes the game so eerie, and it actually creates this like cinematic. And for something in the 90s, that's pretty incredible. And then I got into like Final Fantasies and stuff. But I think one of the ones, this is actually the first game where I pulled an all-nighter with it, was the original Metal Gear Solid. Like with a PlayStation, we did the whole all-nighter thing. My buddy brought it over and we played it like all night.
Nice.
And that was one of those things where I was like, okay, video games are a whole different breed now. Like they're a whole different beast. And that was awesome. That was awesome. So yeah. But Skyrim is a lot for a lot of people. That is the game that hooks people in, and it is a generational.
You think so?
Yeah, it's one of those generational games because it's a 360 game.
Yeah.
So like a lot of
yeah.
Gen Z,
Yeah.
Are hooked on games, like get hooked with video games on games like Skyrim.
Yeah, it inspired an entire it probably has inspired just about any kind of open world games that you see nowadays.
You don't think Oblivion
Probably.
did?
Oblivion didn't have the same impact, I'd say.
No,
Because,
Skyrim became a cultural like thing.
yeah,
Like that reached that cultural status. It's memed now
Oblivion
everywhere.
was the stepping stone to Skyrim, basically. Like it was, it was good, but then Skyrim just went to a whole nother. And then when modders got involved with Skyrim, it completely encapsulates everything. So yeah.
Skyrim is one of those ones for a lot of people that like hooks them into video games. Some people, it's even like Grand Theft Auto. It's like Grand Theft Auto 3 or one of those ones like hooks a lot of people into video games.
San Andreas, can't beat it. Loved playing it. Loved using cheats on it and everything. Like, damn.
So, yeah, never ever feel bad about like playing games late, or you like, because we're in this boat where it's like, we're not going to sit there and be like, you haven't played that yet. No, we don't do that here.
Yeah, but now you have me diverging into my early years, when I was playing like, what is it? Like putt-putt? The
Golf with friends?
The car? The little car? Like, yeah, putt-putt. Didn't they just release that on the Switch or something like that?
I have no idea what putt-putt is, and I'm looking this up now.
I wouldn't consider this to be like my first like video game that transformed my life, but I do remember playing it, and that like one of my earliest memories of playing a video game was probably putt-putt. You don't know putt-putt?
I don't know putt-putt. Putt-putt
Oh
game.
my god!
I'm looking this up right now. PC putt-putt game PC. Oh my god! There's a series.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them.
Where have I been? Putt-putt saves the zoo. Putt-putt joins the parade. Like.
Could you imagine a whole like Twitch? Oh my gosh, I should do this. That'd be hilarious.
Content for you.
Yeah, just throw back some old school putt-putt.
Yeah.
I want to know where
Retro
things
game.
really hit the fan. Is it when
It's like
putt-putt goes
it's like
to
a
the
point
movies?
and click. It's a little kid's point and click. And you play this cute little car and you go around and you talk to little, you can tell by the pictures what kind of game this is, but it's
one could say that putt-putt could have inspired Vampire Survivor.
Really? Or are you just pulling my leg?
Yeah. Look. Putt-putt saves the zoo for Nintendo Switch. It just got like put on like maybe a few months ago. February 10th, 2022. That was a year ago. My bad. But
Where's the Steam? I'm gonna go to the Steam store for this. Is amazing. I didn't know there was so many of these games. There's literally a whole quadrilogy of putt-putt games here.
Oh yeah. The adventure point and clicks. Yeah, there's a ton of them. That's
awesome.
So you guys have been talking about RPGs in the chat for anyone that's watching this live on Twitch. And my introduction to RPGs was actually very harsh because it was during the days of the NES, the Super Nintendo, and a lot of those RPGs. I mean, like you have your like Final Fantasies and your Dragon Quest games, and yeah, like those are hard, but I played this one for the Super Nintendo, and it was like so bare bones, but so hard that requires you to like solve like really, really difficult riddles. You'd have to like have like one of those like graphs. So you remember those like graphs in school, right?
Yeah.
So I would actually have to like chart out paths using this like little grid paper, and try and like figure out where all the traps were, because if you didn't, you would lose your characters permanently for good, and then you'd just cry about it.
Is this 7th Saga? I feel like this is 7th Saga.
It was Wizardry.
Oh, wow. I forgot all about that game.
I was like, what was it, like 8 or 9 years old when I played it, and I had such a rough time because I'm like, I'm dumb.
So there's like so we look at like when we talk about Zelda, because we are a week away from Tears of the Kingdom. It's Zelda time for, 3 of the nerds in here, and soon a 4th, because she will be soon. But yeah, we're all ready for this. And
it's on the horizon.
It is.
So
I will.
The original Zelda, remember, if you guys remember, the original Zelda actually came with a map that was in the box, like packaged in the box, right? The whole point of the map was you're supposed to whip the map out and mark it up with your markers and everything, and like mark where you found all this stuff. That was the whole point of the map.
Mine didn't come with a map.
Like the original Zelda. We're talking NES, like
oh god,
old school. It's Zelda.
Yeah, old school NES Zelda.
I was like, dang, I'm missing out.
Yeah, Link to the Past was hard, but it's not the original Zelda.
No, the original Zelda is hard if you like. I think Breath of the Wild even made it made it easier, because Breath of the Wild is kind of, it takes what the original Zelda did and makes it better. But Breath of the Wild still gives you some levels of guidance as to where you're kind of supposed to go. The original Zelda doesn't do any of that. You just wander.
It has that same like almost open world feel. And I have never played Zelda 1 before.
It is the epitome of open world. Like, it's literally you are dropped, and then the one thing you do see that seems obvious to you is there's like a little door to a cave. And then you go in the cave and you get the sword. And then from there, it's
open season.
It's fair game. Wow. You go everywhere. Like, it is true open world.
Yeah, like there's some dungeons you can't access right away, but you can, I think, access up to, like, I think you can even go to the final dungeon like right away. But obviously you can't beat the game.
You're not going to get
all the Triforce pieces.
Yeah, you're not going to get very far. But that's the incredible thing about it. That's why they gave you this map. Like, there was a big map in the Nintendo box, and you would, pull out the map and you'd be like, oh, this dungeon's here, and you would mark it with your marker or whatever. And then keep track of everything. And that's like, this is all pre-internet, the internet back then was called the Nintendo Power Player line or whatever it was. And there was a dude in the same boat as you, like, I don't know where to go. You're paying $9.95 a minute for this phone call. I have no idea where you're going, because I'm lost too. Like, it's wild times back then. But yeah, it was truly open world. Like, you dropped into this thing and you have no idea where to go. With the exception,
can you randomize Zelda 1?
Yeah, and I tried it twice. It's not a fun time because it is really difficult, and it just becomes it's not fun. It's not nearly as fun because the items that you get aren't really progressive items. Like, mind you, though, I did get, I think, one randomizer. I got like the red ring immediately, and I just didn't take any damage for like the first half of the game. And then at the end, it's like, oh, here we go, everything's caught up again. But still,
I can't imagine randomizing that one.
Yeah, the randomizer for Zelda 2, mind you, though. Oh, that is a time. That is
that's hard on even normal levels. That's a very difficult game.
Dude, you can do things like randomize enemies and encounters. Like, you start off and then all of a sudden you're just new in the game and you're surrounded by swarms of enemies that are like near the end of the game, and I'm just screaming trying to like run to the town.
I can't do it.
I've only played like 2 Zelda games, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, you and me both, dude.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We're
gonna fix that problem.
I mean, I've got Skyward Sword, so that's my next one after Tears of the Kingdom, probably.
Okay. So you have 3 Zelda games coming. You have 3 Zelda games still.
Yes,
3.
Yeah.
All right.
On the topic of Zelda. Well, hold on. Did you want to proceed the conversation? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Now they're on the top of the conversation.
No, I want to hear. On the topic of Zelda, you got to go.
Yeah.
Now we've...
What Zelda game? What Zelda game? I've only half played Twilight Princess, and I've played the whole thing of Breath of the Wild. What Zelda game should I start with?
Ooh.
I would say
I played half of what is it? The Dun,
Link to
dun,
the Past.
dun, 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 dun. I can't think of what it's called.
Ocarina of Time.
No.
No, Link to the Past was the one that
Yes.
Everis was streaming.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, that one. And I didn't finish it because I rage quit.
Oh,
I would
really hard.
actually say Ocarina of Time is
Really?
like the true authentic experience of Zelda. It's
That's the one where there's
about as bare
time-
bones and easy as it gets. It's 3D. It feels. I mean, the puzzles are challenging, but it still feels fair without not a like overwhelming difficulty. Because Link to the Past is great, but it does feel in like the later dungeons that there is overwhelming difficulty. And as someone that plays, so Everis plays a lot of 3D games, I feel that you probably would translate to Ocarina of Time the most first.
Okay,
and then
I will
play Link to the Past.
I will roll with this argument because yes, Zelda is divided like in two realms. You have your 3D ones, and then you have your 2D ones.
Then you have all the timelines as well.
Yeah,
That's a whole
it's not
different. That's a whole different piece. If you treat
So the
each
games
game,
aren't standalone, right? They're not really
Mm,
standalone.
they're not
Sometimes-
really, but you could treat them as standalone, and you won't.
Yeah.
You won't
Yeah.
be lost in a story
You
plot.
can
really.
treat them like Final Fantasy games, and they are like their own thing, but the timelines are in some way linked.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot
I
of
wouldn't
them are.
focus too much
That's
about
why
that.
like you don't see people playing a Majora's Mask before Ocarina of Time because that's
Right.
a direct sequel. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom, direct sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
So in that case, you don't need to know what happens in
Now, they do work-
the other games.
They do work in a generational. Zelda goes by generations. So you'll have like Wind Waker, which is the animated cute 3D Link.
So excited about that one.
Yeah, so like Wind Waker, and then you have like Minish Cap and Spirit Tracks and those, and what's the other one? Phantom Hourglass. Those are all in the same generation, and you're playing like kind of as the same Link. But then generally there is the 3Ds and the 2Ds. The stories all kind of intertwine in some way, shape, or form, but I wouldn't focus too much on that. If you want 3D, then yes, you probably should do Ocarina of Time. That is the
Ooh.
best of the
But which
3Ds.
version of Ocarina of Time? Will you
Any
N64
version.
There's a
or
version?
3DS?
The 3DS
there's,
one is, I think, the definitive way to play it. I think.
Yeah, because the 3DS version, like, it's got better graphics, and it actually, if you loved it, you get to play what's called Master Quest, which is a harder version of the game, and it changes a lot of the dungeons, and it's actually really cool.
Mm.
Now, if you personally ask me, and I've played quite a bit of them, I haven't finished every single one, but I've played quite a bit of them. I still think A Link to the Past is the perfect Zelda game, and I stand
It was
by it.
it was so hard. It was so difficult because the hitbox was really odd. And then the one boss that I got stuck on was Moldorm, the giant
Mhm.
worm. And and
knocks you off.
it took a depressingly a long amount of time to defeat that guy. So eventually I did. And the funny story behind that is I was playing I played some music in the background to kind of like amp me up. So at that point, it was like an hour, maybe even 2 hours into fighting this boss. I was like, I'm so done, mentally done. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be the last day I play this game because I don't know if I can continue on dealing with this. But it was definitely the Eye of the Tiger. Eye of the Tiger was my boss jam for the
Nice.
See, in my mind, I was thinking you listened to Don't Stop Me Now.
that would have been a good option as well. Maybe
Yeah.
next time. I think I've fought him enough now that like I get it, and it'll probably go down way easier this time.
Are you doing
but
it
it's
on the-
such a different.
Are you on the
It was
Switch?
such a. No, at that time I was eating it, but I think
Ooh.
that
the
Nintendo.
Nintendo don't.
Yes.
correct.
If you have a mysterious knock at your door, it's Nintendo.
That I think that it was such a huge like the play style was so different for me that it was like hard to get. So it's hard to say what games to play in what order to best bridge that gap between playing first person or even third person or whatever to 2D. So
Yeah,
it'll be
if
interesting.
If you play Link to the Past, you will play the perfect version of a 2D Zelda. Plain and
I
simple.
loved it. I did. I loved it up
It's
to
just
that
hard.
point. Yeah, it's hard.
And it's
very
okay.
hard.
It's hard. It's a game that's hard. If you do it the Switch way, you can. I won't fault you for it. You can use the save states, and you can like mark a save state right before you go into a boss, and then kind of cheat it a little bit. But I wouldn't fault you for that. It's hard, and there's no doubt about it. It's a hard game. You know, Ocarina is hard. Majora's Mask, I think, is even harder because now there's a time element to it that you have to kind of like speed run, kind of to beat the time element. But we'll get into more video games in a minute here. But what I do want to hear about is, I know we've all, do stuff over the weekend here, but Zenith had a very busy week. Zenith, go ahead and tell us about the St. Jude Summit. I want to hear about some of it.
Well, so basically what happens is I actually got to meet, got to hang out with Everis at a previous summit. And it's a lot of fun. Now, they actually did it differently this year because obviously, just as that world, that you can't, with the state of the way things were, you're not allowed to go in the hospital. However, though, like they still took you on these really cool tours in some of the other facilities. They actually renovated a whole lot, so a lot of things were different. And what the focus on was they focus on like the scientific aspect because so obviously so for those guys that are just listening in, I do apologize. So what this is it's the St. Jude Play Live Summit, and if you don't know what the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is, it's a hospital that has like that basically it cures cancer for kids. And right now they're at an 80% cure rate. And so many people are, contribute to the wonderful goal that St. Jude has. Like, in one of the exhibits, they had a thing where they put Chadwick Boseman next to Robin Williams as St. Jude. I'm like, no, my heart can't take any more of this.
Don't fucking make me cry. I'm not in the mood to cry on a podcast today, all right?
Yeah. It was really hard, and the thing is, though, we were all excited, but it was just very hard, like hearing, like we actually got to hear from like previous patients at St. Jude that are actually streamers and do their own kind of content, and it was really interesting hearing how hard it was for them, but how they kept going. And but we got to hear from like scientists that talked about where they're able to like develop technology like 5 years in advance, like technology the technology that's not even going to be available to like anyone for like another 5 years. And they're talking about like microscopes and how to like actually like identify tumors before they develop. So like how when you do like a brain scan and it's like in black and white, right? So and then they hide like a little box and it's like, all right, and here is where the cancer is developing, and they'll show it. And then you look at it, it's like, I can't see anything unless if you really, really, really zoom in. But they looked at different ways where with them using alternative methods of being able to identify where the cancer is developing. They showed it where they were able to change the lighting and also change the angle to cast shadows, because it's easier to see it when the tumors are developing, where you can see the shadows. And they were doing this thing, I forget what it's called, but it's a way where you can kind of like get a scan of the brain, but without like the harsh scans of doing x-rays and whatnot. So they were doing a thing where it adds like kind of like a fluid that like changes color depending on like the lighting. And basically from there, you were able to like see like pre-developing tumors, which is really, really freaking interesting. So being able to see, because like their mission right now is focusing on trying to identify cancer before it happens and try and get into the mindset of what causes it, what gets it to develop to this stage, and what can we do to kind of not only understand it, but prevent it. Because obviously, if no children ever gets to have cancer in the first place anyway, that is the goal.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah. So, other than that, the summit was a lot of fun. I had a lot to drink. But
of course.
but they did a lot of great things because, like, you know, on top of that, because they knew that we wouldn't be able to be in the be in the hospital. They did a lot for like bring the creators together to mix and mingle. Like last time Everis and I went, like yeah, we were hanging out in the hotel, but we did have this like really cool thing the last night. But this time they did a lot of cool things. Like they had mixers, that we had like parties. I actually had the chance to like speak to Dr. Lupo myself. I got to speak to little Zia, and actually we were hanging out for like a while and recorded a video for a mutual friend of ours. And we had like a silent disco on top of a roof. I had the best mac and cheese ever. It was so good. It was like a chipotle cheese sauce, and it's like fried in like a little skillet right in front of you over an open fire.
Okay.
It had like grilled chicken, crispy bacon, steamed broccoli. You can choose whatever pasta you want. They have like three different types there. And it was just really, really fun. And I do like the fact that they identified, it's like a lot of you guys haven't been around others in like 4 years. So what if we made it so that in exchange for not being able to, you know, actually see the patients, you guys get to just mingle, have fun, and exchange lots of words of wisdom. Like the list of people that I got to hang out with and, you know, be able to pick their brain and exchange ideas and information. I mean, I was talking came publishing stuff with Blessius, who just randomly just sat on my table. Then we're just like, oh my gosh, so what are you doing? So
nice.
And
how you doing?
And I was like sharing all my crowd control experiences, and I talked about like where my mods blindfolded me and it had to be my voice in the ear when I was playing Twilight Princess. I was telling that to Dr. Lupo and his wife, and there was another thing that was going on. There was, they were talking a lot about crowd control, so I was like, hey, those guys.
That is your bread and butter, sir.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a really fun time.
Was it emotional? Like, I know you didn't get to see
Yes.
like the children and stuff, but does it have the same emotional impact? Because I know that's one of the
Yes.
biggest thing is the emotional impact that would hit you when you would like play with the kids or see the kids.
There was one of the days where they did a music and therapy session where they were playing music. This one girl, she was playing, like, she and her sister were playing music that they wrote while she was at the hospital, and she also was she had a bit of a setback, and so she was writing the song to try and, you know, wade through the storm, and it was so hard. Do you guys know Kaylina?
I do not.
Okay, but basically, all right. So, like, she was bawling because, like, she just lost her mother to cancer, and she also just had a baby, and she doesn't want her new child to go through any of this. So she's just bawling, and then after that was even worse because we had to go. We were in like this room, and they had like a little projector screen, and what they did is they took this one girl's drawings that she did in St. Jude and actually like animated, and they did it all around the wall. So it was like a virtual tour through her drawings.
That's incredible.
But she also talked about the darkness of cancer and how scared it is, having to deal with the threat of, you know, not being able to survive at such an early age. And like, that was a part that I lost. It's like, no, I can't do this anymore. I can't look at anyone. So I just kind of hung out in the corner. I was like, nope. I can't do this.
It's hard. For those that do not know, and I don't even know if the individuals here know, I lost my father to cancer, and then my mom's an actual breast cancer survivor, as well as my grandma. So I also have an uncle. So like cancer runs pretty prevalent in my family. So I think, you know, so St. Jude, we've all in this podcast here, we've all raised money for St. Jude at some point. Some are, you know, and a lot of us in this group here are still doing it. So, but I've done it, you know, several years, and we all contributed in some way, shape, or form. But I think the most important part about St. Jude was for me is like, I think from a recovery perspective, it's the financials, because knowing what my family went through when my father was sick, the cost associated with trying to treat cancer is ridiculous and insane. programs that like Zenith and Dill and Everis and myself at the point when I was streaming were doing is we were helping alleviate that cost by raising the money through the St. Jude Play Live campaign. Because the whole idea behind St. Jude is the families don't pay anything. And I think that is a huge, huge factor in why this cause is important, because they're able to do that by the contributions that people make to this campaign and, any other St. Jude campaigns that they run throughout the year. So I think that was probably one of the most important aspects for me of why it was important to raise money. And it was to help these families not only, weather the emotional storm that they're going through, but as well as the financial.
I also wanted to note that it is a research hospital, and all their research that they put out into the world is open source. So it means that everybody in the entire world can benefit from this information, and it can help cancer globally. So not only does it help for the youth and currently affected patients, but also the entire cancer as a whole. Yeah. So
exactly what Everis said. Like they talked about that at over and over again, whereas this isn't something that we're just trying to keep to ourselves or make a profit of, because their goal is to put themselves out of a job, because so they share a lot of the information, they put it all out there. For example, I think it was in the middle of the last summit that Everis and I went to, so they just came up with like a cure for bubble boy disease.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
They shared that information, and that's just that's still just one step, but that's still a step as someone of that a child doesn't have to go through, and it's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's an incredible place. It's an incredible hospital. Their work is impeccable, and their contributions to the world right now are great. I stand by it. Thank you for that, Zenith. That means a lot. I'm glad you got to go. It's always been a special thing. I never got the opportunity to do it, but I think Everis has as well gotten to go along with you.
Twice, yeah.
It's an incredible thing.
Thank you, Everis, for inputting on that too, because I completely forgot to mention that.
Mm-hmm. That's coming from a science and a health background. That's really important to me. So that's a very cool thing that they do.
And we'll mention this later here at the end, and I'll put links into this episode both on the podcast channel and everything, and the YouTube channel. These three individuals, Zenith, Everis, and Dill, are all raising money for St. Jude this year. So we'll put their individual campaigns up, and then you can contribute, how you see fit. And if you can't contribute, that's okay too. Just spreading the word and putting the knowledge out there that this platform and this project exists is just as important. So and for that all your money's going to the same pot, so any contribution counts.
Yep.
So thank you for that, Zenith. We appreciate you for putting in the report from St. Jude. I'm glad everyone's doing well over there, and they're still striving. Dill, what did you do over the weekend?
The
break?
No.
I always say weekend, sorry.
No, it's I was confused by that. Well, the coronation's happening in the UK, so all I've been doing is ignoring that.
What's the traffic there right now? Is the traffic stupid?
I don't know. It's in London.
Oh, okay.
I'm a northerner, not a southerner. So I've seen the video footage and everything like that, and it was. I mean, I think literally the entirety of London shut down traffic-wise because.
Nope.
It's like the entire there are crowds of people who are falling over the coronation. And I'm just here why?
I don't know. I don't have any insight as to your culture as to how important the coronation is.
I don't know why it is either.
We're wild over here. We just invade our capital and all that kind of stuff when things don't go our way.
I mean, didn't technically the UK do that a long time ago, and that's why it's called the White House?
Yes. I was trying to make a fun joke, and then you turned it into a history lesson.
Actual fact.
We get it, Dill. You're smart.
Well, I don't know why that's ingrained in my brain, but it just is.
You're sophisticated. We get it. You're British.
I am. I'm Northern British. I'm the least sophisticated British person you could possibly meet.
Don't tell me you were.
Is that to a disadvantage or advantage?
I want to know now, Dill. Did you just literally say you are the catalytic converter stealing / selling version of a Brit?
Probably.
Oh my gosh, he's the Floridian Brit.
You're stealing copper. You strip copper from like electrical wires and sell it, or what?
I've not done that yet. I can build things, but I can't. I don't know. I have to read instructions on how to build things.
Well, we hope the coronation.
What's wrong
goes
with
well.
that?
What's
wrong with instructions?
You'd be surprised.
He doesn't like being told what to do. That's his problem with instructions.
This is like the argument of like whether or not you should use a guide to play a video game, and whether or not you should just experience it yourself. Like, what's wrong with directions?
I always YOLO it before I get a guide with video games.
You YOLO
Wait, what?
it?
Yeah, like I always whenever I get a video game, a lot of the time I tend to just like jump in and say, let's find out what's in here.
And then you throw it away.
And then you look at the guide, and then
if I get stuck, yes.
Were you the guy
Yeah.
that literally like took all your PlayStation games or whatever and took them out of the cases and put them in the book and then threw the cases away?
When I was a kid, yes. But I've since learned that that's not a good idea for your disc lifespan. So, but yeah. But then when I got the PS3, that's when I was like, okay, these needs. I know the value of how much these things cost, so I'm going to keep them in the cases.
Good job, good boy.
Yeah.
I used to read all like the little like booklets and manuals inside every single video game. It was just fun. I mostly just enjoyed it for like the artwork, but
you should see my Breath of the Wild. Like it's like this thick, and by people who can't see a video, it's like an inch, maybe an inch and a half thick. Don't even go there.
Is that like what's an inch in centimeters? Do you know? Do you know the exact number?
Her eyes went cross-eyed. She was like, huh?
I'm like doing my best to picture. You know what? I got a ruler right here.
Oh,
I have a ruler right here.
Oh my gosh, brandishing weapons.
2.5 centimeters.
There you go.
Ish.
And congratulations, you are now on the metric system.
I agree with you that the metric system should be implemented worldwide, but we're not going to get into that.
We're not going to get into that. This is a podcast about video games.
I have a fairly large book of the Breath of the Wild, and it has every single shrine, every single I think Korok seed and everything. It is so cool. It is so cool. So if you're talking about nerding out on like books that part of video games and stuff, that's my jam. That's my jam. I also got a Witcher one, but that's a conversation for another day.
Did anybody else collect those like Nintendo Power Book magazines? They were so good. Like I remember the day where it was around the release of Majora's Mask, and I just kept collecting them because they would tell you where all the items were. Like you'd have to wait for the next release to like figure out like the next dungeon, but it was so cool. It was well detailed and lots of like official artwork. It was amazing.
My favorite ones are they were the Nintendo like official strategy guides, and they would have that like the title would be in like within a square in the middle of the cover there, and it would be in that big bold font. I forgot what they were called, but they were like the official like Nintendo Power like strategy guides. Those things were like the golden era of goodness. Nintendo Power in itself was the golden era of goodness. Why does it not exist anymore? Well, it's obvious.
Well, I had a friend of mine had you know how on like PlayStation games, like PS2 especially, for cheats you had to do a sequence of codes in order on your thing in order to do them. My friend had an entire encyclopedia book which had all of them in every PS2 game you can think of.
I did find a source of every issue of Nintendo Power in PDF. So I can share that at some point.
Nice. Let's go.
That's
I'd love that.
You would love that? I will share it. I'll put a share up. Yes, we were talking about this before we officially started here, but yeah, the Nintendo Power hotline, you would call the number and then the guy, you're paying like X amount of dollars a minute and the guy's like helping you out on the phone. Nice. And he had binders full of info. It's like literally paying to ask your friend, hey, how do I do this?
Yeah. pay $2
Oh my
and
God.
so you can go
I do
through
that for
game
free.
facts.
You do
Yeah.
that for free.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Well, this was all pre-internet. This was the 80s.
Yeah, well, my coworker's currently playing The Last of Us, the first game, and she's like asking me what's the best thing to do here and here, and I'm like, do this, do this, do this.
Just
You
think
missed
about.
your opportunity to make some money, Dale.
I don't
I
think
was
he
You
was
gotta pay
born
for that
yet.
information. You
I
gotta
don't
pay
think
for
he
that
was
information.
Born yet. But think about how many people just called that line to get the Contra code. Like, what's the Contra
Contra?
code, dude?
Contra code?
Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start.
Thank you.
I love that you just know that.
There you go.
On the
It's
top of your
engraved into his
head.
brain.
That is the title of the episode.
Yeah.
There it is.
I
Contra
love
code?
that you just know that.
You-
there you
once-
go.
That cost me $2
There's no
in
hesitation.
1989.
There was no hesitation. It was just laid on the table like that. Just like boom.
Boom. You'll never
Boom.
forget the Contra
Instant
code once you
knowledge.
know it. It's actually in like, I forget where it is, but like, I think that one of the controller designs or something had it like engraved in it somewhere. I forget. It's
Interesting.
famous. The Contra
That's
code
really
is
cool.
infamous. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
I think it made like actually no, I was thinking that was in Mega Man, but that was actually the control scheme that you would use to do a Hadouken.
Yep. Yeah. Do-do-do. And then it would shoot the thing. Good
Yep.
stuff. And then, the infamous meme of like pulling on Mario's nose and stuff in Mario 64. If you didn't know, you yank his
Yeah,
nose, you can flop it around.
I now have done that.
Yeah, good times. Good times. Everis, obviously this is your first episode, so we are seeing you. You're joining us for the first time. How was your weekend though, or your previous week? Anything exciting?
I'm trying to think.
That's what me earlier.
No, not terribly exciting. Like I said, I took a week off video games. Wasn't feeling super great, but definitely looking for. Actually, what's more exciting is what's happening this weekend. I'm gonna be. This is so pathetic. This is so pathetic to say, but I'm
I'll
walking.
be the judge of that.
Tell us.
I'm walking
now.
a run. I'm walking a run.
That's okay.
So-
What? How do you walk a run?
You walk
Hey.
it.
That is time of you not being in the computer chair, so
It's about 12 miles.
Ooh. Long
I
one.
think.
Well, no wonder you're
it's a 12
walking
no,
it.
it's 7 miles. It's a 12K or something like that. I don't remember, but it's fairly long. And I actually did it last year, and now we're doing it again this year, and I don't know why, but we're doing it. But the last weekend,
Do it.
it wasn't super eventful. No, we had to register a few months ago and everything. So, I'm not a runner. I'm a weightlifter. So this is not
Yeah.
my jam.
It's okay. It's okay. You can walk the 12K. Don't
No.
don't let them people pressure you.
But it's a good time because like the whole town gets involved and stuff, and like you're walking through neighborhoods, so there's people who are not walking, and they're sitting out in their front lawn watching everybody go by, and they like throw like popsicles and like are cheering you on and stuff, and it's like it's cool.
I just
It's
want to
cool.
do one. I just want to do one to do the I just want to do one to join the mixer thing that they have at the end with all the food and everything. Like everyone makes it to the end, and then there's like that little party that everyone
Yes.
can join.
free food. Why not?
It's kind of like that. It's
I
kind of
will
like
run
that.
12 miles to get free food. That's basically what I'm saying.
You get a free T-shirt.
Okay,
Is
that's
that-
cool too.
You get a free T-shirt.
Yeah, free t-shirt.
Yeah, t-shirt to replace the sweaty one that you just ruined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Oh.
Apparently, I'm doing one this year. Well, here we go.
Oh.
I opened my
Okay.
mouth. I opened my
Don't
mouth
get
and look what I
just,
too
got
make,
me.
on.
just make sure you get good shoes. Last year I did not have good shoes, and it was a horrible time. So
Yeah.
Did you walk in advance? Did you go out
no,
there
thank
in
God. But it was like these like I would call them more of like a trainer shoe, which has less padding in the heel, and when you're walking heel to toe for
Oof.
whatever 12K, it's horrible. It was awful. So definitely invested in some good walking shoes.
Well, if I'm not going to be walking, we're going to be playing some video games. Here we go. How was that segue, boys? 10 out of 10, right? That 10 out of 10 segue. Zenith, I don't know why you're doing another Elden Ring playthrough. You just tortured yourself for 80 plus hours. Why are you doing this again?
Well,
I'm gonna totally do that too soon.
Why does anybody replay any FromSoft games? Like, why does anybody do that? That's the real question.
I can answer this question in one sentence. Because we're masochists.
Oh, just wait until I tell you all the things that I have to do. So, yeah, I'm playing through Elden Ring again. I'm having fun with it. I do have to make a third playthrough. I mean, it's just gonna be for like one stream, but I have to play blindfolded.
Oh no!
But my brother, he's so basically. I was
gonna say,
I'm playing
if it was
with my
Morgan, I would have been very worried.
No. Morgan does not live here.
Yeah.
Besides, she is the last person I want like vocal instructions from. I
thought he was going to say she's the last person I want to live with. I'm like, ouch.
She got me lost in a cave in Twilight Princess. She made me think that I drank lantern oil. I don't trust her.
Oh my god.
So no, I trust her. It's just like this is like something that I'm doing like here. So like so what's going to happen is I'm going to be blindfolded. My brother's gonna be next to me and kind of give me instructions. All right, so enemy on the screen, go to the left, go to the right, attack, hold up your shield, blah blah blah. So every couple of deaths, we will actually swap places because I obviously have experience.
Yeah,
he does not. But when the thing is though, when he's blindfolded, I'm gonna know where to go. I'm gonna know, but it's just a matter of him knowing how to. Hoping that he knows enough about the game to just not die. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But, so on top of that, I haven't really done too many interesting things game-wise. I did finish Pokemon Legends Arceus yesterday.
That was the one I started, and I was like, I'm totally into this, and then I stopped playing. It makes no sense.
So... That's a fair point because when I ended, because last year I started playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, I was actually very close to the end, like literally 2 hours away. And the reason why I stopped playing is a game called Elden Ring released, and I completely forgot the game existed.
Yeah.
Oh, so, that game that you're playing twice.
And I finally beat it, and then people were saying, "Hey, you should play the post game." I got bored by the post game. I'm like,
I don't know why you're judging him for playing Elden Ring again when I played Witcher for like the fourth time.
Oh, we were saving that for when we got to you. Like I'm waiting to like every time I go to look at the sheet, it's just gonna say Witcher.
We're almost done.
And then like 6 episodes down the line, I'm gonna look and it's just gonna say Everis, Witcher,
5th playthrough.
Yeah. So
no, this is my time. This is my time. This ain't my time. Go on.
If I could ever pull some weight, I'm going to talk to somebody at Project Red and I'll be like, you need to give this woman a tour of your facilities because she has played this game like 3/4 of her lifetime.
On stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only been maybe 10 hours in total over the course of all the time I've ever played Witcher that was not documented on stream.
They need to rebrand their company to CD Projekt Redverse.
Nice.
But
yeah. So there's one little thing that I do want to talk about.
Okay, let's do it.
So I played randomizers, went well. I don't really remember too much of it because obviously I had like the break. And then obviously I was busy because like last week I had my job interview. But because it's been kind of tight in the Zenith household, and so I decided to put some outrageous rewards for helping me out of the bind. So not only am I good going forward, but here are the things that people have unlocked. So
feet pics. Tell me his feet pics.
No.
Well,
next week I have to watch Morbius, and people will get my reaction from him. I can't wait to see exactly how bad.
You know what, Zenith?
I'm going to Morb.
You know what, dude? I can't let you do this alone, okay? I will watch Morbius with you.
Let's go!
I'm not going to let you do this alone. You are one of my bestest friends. I am not going to let you watch Morbius alone. We're going to do this.
Then when are you doing this, Morbius?
Maybe Monday. Maybe.
Can I be filled in?
I'm not quite sure.
Can I be filled in Morbius?
Is it Monday evening? by any chance?
Filled in as in like why he's doing this or what Morbius is.
What Morbius is.
So
It's a
Morbius is that meme movie that people thought would be great, but it turned out it was just the biggest piece of shit. And
oh no, one of these.
Okay.
So
okay.
I like how freaking.
Actually, was it Jared?
Well, let's be fair. Let's give her a little more context.
Yeah,
Morbius is actually a Spider-Man villain.
Yes.
Okay.
And what they did is, if you did not know, Spider-Man is split between the Sony studio, Sony Motion Picture, and then Disney, right? So they have like this co-agreement to use Tom Holland, etc. Yeah, they have this agreement to use him in Disney, and then Sony has the rights to go make their own Spider-Man universe type movies, right? So off the heels of the last Spider-Man, the multiverse one that had all the Spider-Mans in it, Sony's like, we're going to drop Morbius. Spider-Man's hot. Let's drop Morbius, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was a disaster. It's a bad movie. Yeah, it's bad. Morbius is actually a pretty cool character. So that's what sucks. But this movie sucks. So
it's not even low budget. It's just...
Oh, no. It was a very, very high budget shitty movie.
It's just bad. Oh, no. That's the worst.
So, Everis, have you ever seen Spider-Man 3?
No. And I don't want to... But
do you know about the scene where with Tobey Maguire and he's doing the very awkward dance?
Wait. Yeah, I did watch this one. Yeah, I did watch it. I watched I watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. I haven't watched any of the other ones.
I kid you not. There's a scene that is just as awkward as that in Morbius.
Oh my god.
And I can't wait to sit through that.
Here's another good example. You know the Batman and Robin movie where they always make fun of the bat nipples and the bat suit?
Oh, God.
Yes.
Morbius is on the same level of that bad.
Morbius is basically the nipple of the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
See, if this was a low-budget movie, it'd be the greatest thing ever. But because it's not a low-budget movie, then this is... Oh, man, this just makes it so much worse.
Title of this podcast, Spider Nipple.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're not using the Contra code anymore?
Okay. No, Contra code.
Oh, wait a minute. What if you do Spider
code.
Nipple, but in like code form?
No.
Like the Contra code form. Why not?
No.
Why not?
Okay, I need to make a note in my calendar right here, Monday to watch. You're watching this on stream? You doing the Discord private thing?
It'll be in Discord. Because I don't want to lose my channel because of this. But
I think you should lose your channel over this.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
What a way to go out by Morbin.
So this was such a message. The meme culture of this movie hit such a grand status that people were giving out free copies of this movie everywhere. Like it was everywhere.
How have I not heard about this?
Like
it was literally it was like on Netflix.
It was on Netflix all over the place.
It went on Netflix like a week after they put it on like digital for like Amazon and everything. Yeah. It went on Netflix.
Whose idea was this?
You can go on Twitter and find the entire movie within like a 45-second GIF.
Oh yeah. That's also a thing. Yep.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, on top of watching that, I have to do a Kingdom Hearts randomizer.
Oh no!
While watching Morbius,
I mentioned blindfolded Elden Ring. I have to do a Dark Souls enemy randomizer.
Oh god!
I have to play co-op horror games that's not Phasmophobia. I need to do something scarier than that. I have to get my very first Zelda tattoo.
Oh,
I've never gotten a tattoo before.
Okay.
I still think it should be Triforce. Triforce for the win.
We have a Majora's Mask Rupee Sandy randomizer. I have to do a 12-hour stream. I have a stream where people have to play my game all at the same time. I have to fight people over the controls. I think that'll work, but we shall see. We've given out 2 art canvases, and the last thing is I have to dye my hair chroma key green.
Oh,
so you people won't be able to see my hair. It's just
this is gonna be fun.
I'll put on green face paint so you just see my eyes and lips.
We're about to see bold Zen.
I still think for St. Jude you should put on the waxing incentive. Then.
Oh yeah. That was another thing. Is I had a stretch goal where I had to wax my legs. or do like a sexy calendar, but we didn't hit those.
Oh,
Can
Put 'em
I
on the
make a
St. Jude
suggestion?
incentive
we
list.
were robbed.
Can I make a suggestion for the after you wax your legs?
Mm-hmm.
I think you should put up for sale the Zenith version of the George Costanza
No.
like underwear
No.
modeling ad thing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, for a
He's
half second, I
contemplating
thought-
it. Look at it. Look at him. He's contemplating.
For a half second, I thought you were gonna say that he should sell his wax strips with his hair still on it, kind of
Oh
like
my gosh.
bathwater. Like,
If I do this,
Girl, what is
can
wrong with you?
What the fuck, Everis?
why am I not the only one who's heard about this stuff? It's a joke.
Bathwater's one thing, but no one wants his hair waxed.
Yeah.
Why?
You think bathwater is
Maybe more
worse?
than
You think
why.
bathwater is?
is on the market?
You
But
think
if
that
I-
that's worse than bathwater?
If I do this, I'm pointing it as hashtag George Costanza.
Think
Chris,
about what's in
Do it.
bathwater.
Do it. I will buy one and I will hang it right here above my controllers. Pal's gonna come over and just see Zenith in his underwear on my wall.
Damn it!
Way to kill the mood, Zen.
You're welcome.
It fired
Yeah,
me
that's-
up.
That's what you guys can continue. Also, my cutoff is in 15 minutes, by the way.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
okay.
no.
Oh no. Okay. Zenith has a hard 4:30. So we're gonna go ahead and we will get to in fact, you know what? Let's do this. We will send Zenith on his merry way. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a quick break.
I want to know what you guys are playing.
Okay, you can know what we're playing. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Don't make me watch Morbius without you. That's all I ask.
More than time.
All right, Dill, what do we got going on the horizon here?
I finished Mega Man Battle Network, my childhood
three?
game. No, not all of them. Just the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I finished the first one. It was difficult because, like, similar to what you talked about with the original Legend of Zelda game, where it had no kind of like guidance. It had very little guidance, so I had to look up a good portion of some parts of the game
Do it
just to know
yellow.
where I was going. Yeah.
Okay.
I've just never heard of that term before, going yellow.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Anyway.
so that's it's got to be a Brit thing.
Probably, I don't know. But yeah, that was a good playthrough. I've yet to play the other 5 though, because I got a little sidetracked with, obviously, as you mentioned, St. Jude, because St. Jude month started, so I started up a different playthrough of a different game, which I went back to Pokemon. I've started playing again, but this time I'm playing Pokemon Storm Silver, not Soul Silver. So for those that knows what Storm Silver is, who's listening right now, Storm Silver is a modified version of Soul Silver where everything is much harder. So all the Pokemon trainers have more Pokemon. The gym leaders have more Pokemon. You get access to every Pokemon in the Pokedex in Gen 4. But it's like, basically it's more of a challenge. And I'm done for St. Jude. I'm doing a hardcore Nuzlocke of this game, basically.
This is the mega
yeah.
ultra difficult version of Pokemon, right? The Nuzlocke thing.
Yes. So it's basically, I'm basically playing a harder version of Soul Silver with the hardest rule set, basically. So hardcore Nuzlocke, for those that don't know who are listening, is basically similar to a Nuzlocke where like you have to catch one Pokemon in each route. If the Pokemon faints, it is classed as dead. It is put in either release, put in the PC forever, and never used ever again. With the reason for being a hardcore Nuzlocke, though, is that not only does it introduces level caps for your Pokemon, so they can't go above a certain level depending on the highest level Pokemon of the gym leader that you're about to face. But also you can't use items in battle to heal your Pokemon up. So adds a bit more of a risk factor.
Eat the nasty beans like the normal people do during St. Jude?
I have that option. I have the option to play the game blindfolded as well.
Okay.
I've also got incentives that remove Pokemon from my party altogether, or release them completely. And my biggest incentive is reset my entire run from wherever I am to the end.
Those are fun things that I've actually had to do that for one of my old St Jude campaigns, where it's like, hey, you want me to completely restart this run or completely just throw things away? I'll do it. And so it's a lot of fun, especially in like a randomized Nuzlocke, because obviously I did it for Zelda.
Yeah,
you're doing it for Pokemon, so that's always very interesting.
So I have a suggestion for you guys. I think there's this like one Twitch streamer that already did it because she's just insane. Yeah. But I think one of you guys needs to do the Elden Ring run with like the Guitar Hero guitar.
I need to get a Guitar Hero guitar first, then.
Or do it on like the Dance Dance Revolution pad. I think
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
I also need to get one of those. Then
I'll even up it up a little bit. Do it with the DJ Hero like turntable thing.
I could do that for one of my milestones, maybe. I do.
There you go.
I might check out the Elden Ring randomizer for one of my milestones, maybe, because I heard the randomizer is pretty interesting. The enemy one, for instance, is like quite insane. But with Pokemon Storm Silver run, I'm on my third run. I've basically failed twice so far.
No.
Because my first attempt failed at the second gym. Bugsy basically kicked my ass with Cypher. And my second attempt failed literally as I got into my stream. Like 30 minutes in my stream, my second run failed. Because my ass got kicked by Lyra, the rival. So
do I need to come back for St. Jude? Do I need to come back?
It can do.
There's a few people who do that. Like once a year they stream. Like they used to be a streamer and then they come back and they just do St. Jude.
Yeah.
It's not.
Sino, like you guys know Sino, right?
I miss her. Is she doing well?
Yes. I hung out with her a bunch at the summit.
Nice.
So
nice. She was always a fun one. She was a great person.
Yeah, she hasn't really had much time to stream, but like she usually comes back around St. Jude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
maybe
it's all good.
I will stick the Bean Boozled in my whey protein shake. Watch it happen.
Have you ever had the spicy beans?
Yes.
I was tempted.
I know you have, Zen.
Okay, I can't do the spicy thing because like these people, I know the game's been upped. Like people are eating like Carolina Reapers and all this kind of stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, I have some right here.
Yeah, Carolina Reaper spicy beans burn through your ass.
There's in order of spicy to not spicy. I'm sorry, the other way around. Not spicy to spicy. It's got jalapeno, sriracha, cayenne, habanero, and then Carolina Reaper.
Oh my god!
And believe me, I've had a fair amount of spicy stuff because that's my jam. But the Carolina Reaper is no joke. It really is no joke.
Yeah.
Someone's telling me there's something worse. It's called Pepper X.
Oh, so people keep experimenting with them, don't they? And they keep making hotter and hotter peppers, like breeding them with like
what the hell is Pepper X? Does Satan literally fart in the jar or whatever? And then like
I'm pretty sure that's the Carolina Reaper.
No, there's a beyond. There's a beyond. It's like unnamed because it's just been developed. You know, it's
Satan's ass sweat hot sauce.
Satan's ass sweat hot sauce.
Yeah, you know.
Jesus Christ.
Satan's ball sack hair.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
So hot it can melt your tongue.
Oh God, that sounds horrible. No, I can't do the hot stuff. Like I refuse to do it. I will eat the vomit bean.
I actually had to stop at some point because
I'd rather do spicy than something that tastes disgusting.
Oh God! Don't tell me you want spicy ass hot sock or whatever the hell they call it.
Hot sock.
What was it? The gym sock. That's the one. The gym sock.
Ew.
They had what was it? They had barf. They had dirty dishwater, dog food.
Mm-hmm. It gets worse every year.
Spoiled milk.
Remember
this year's season?
Remember they tried to make they put the toothpaste one as like one of the bad ones, and I'm almost like,
oh yeah, that was easy.
This is a welcome relief for the other shit I've been eating out of this box, like toothpaste.
Yeah.
Okay, I can live through this. Are you looking up hot sock?
No, I'm looking up because they kind of go through series of flavors and smells and stuff, and I wondered what this. No, they haven't released anything new since 6th edition.
Right. So they've probably
But
gone back to cooking more
liver and
laboratory
onions,
stuff.
old bandage, rotten egg, toothpaste,
Old man
bar,
what?
stink. Old bandage. Yeah,
old bandage. I said old man what? I'm like, huh? What? No.
Barf, stink bug, booger, dirty dishwater, stinky socks, and dead fish. And I heard dead fish is the one that like
Ugh.
is like the one that like lingers.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I would much rather take something spicy than any of that ass garbage.
I mean, I have an incentive in which I have to eat a handful of them. Bean boozle beans.
I did that once a year. I did that 1 year too. Never again.
I didn't mind it. Well, the one
Wait.
time I did it.
Take a handful and ate it at the same time.
Pow
Yeah.
did that. Pow just like ate them like it was nothing. She's like, oh, it's candy. And just kept
Wow.
eating them on stream. I hope I have that clip still. I don't know what was wrong with the woman at the time. This is when we were like first dating. I was like, you're insane. I'm making the wrong decisions in life right
you're
now.
Insane. I love you.
Shit. So there you go. Pokemon Nuzlocke Bean Boozled run by Dill.
I mean, yeah, if you guys want to come around and like make me suffer, I'll be live during the next few weeks playing Pokemon and trying to raise money for St. Jude.
I tell you, it can't get much worse. Watch Morbius and use the Bean Boozles as popcorn. That's literally the torture of life.
I'd rather take the Bean Boozle over Morbius.
No, you got to do both.
No, I don't. Well, I don't.
It's movie and a candy, Dill. It's not just movie or candy. It's movie and a candy. Okay, get it straight.
Yeah, dinner and a show.
Over you.
But from hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everis, I'm gonna guess it's The Witcher this week.
Yeah.
It is, just to finish it up, and then right after it, I'm getting into Horizon Forbidden West. So very, very excited for
you played Zero Dawn.
I haven't played that
right?
game. Can you elaborate?
I did.
Can you elaborate?
I did play Zero Dawn. I actually have my full playthrough on YouTube. So, pretty excited about that. Just so it's like documented and everything. I don't know. I just started something I wish I'd done eons ago is upload stuff to YouTube, especially since I'm playing these like really big, like passionate, story-based games where decisions matter, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, I have that full thing on YouTube and I'm so excited to play the next game. I actually, last year, I did end up playing now it would be 2 years ago. Anyway, I did play a good, I would say a third of Forbidden West. But now we'll be starting a fresh playthrough, and we'll be playing it on the PS5 and not the PS4. So I'm pretty excited about that too.
What had you start the run and then stop? Was it like just life, or was it?
We moved. So yeah, last year in June we moved to a new apartment, and so that whole process was just a lot. And then it just getting back on the horse, because I was streaming it. I didn't want to play the game and then just not stream the rest of it. So I put the streaming on hold. So that just put the game on hold. So
gotcha.
Then I got back into Witcher because the next gen graphic update came out. So that was just like, okay, that's an excuse to play the game again. So that's
You're doing it on the PC?
Yes. It's literally the only reason why I played Witcher again on stream was because that graphical update came out and I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Yeah, the big struggle with open world games is once you get somewhere with it, and then you put it away for like a while, you completely need to start over.
Yeah,
you're like, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah, it's part of it is relearning how to play the game, and the other part is like, what the hell is happening in the story right now?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. And then the new DLC, Burning Shores, just came out like 2 weeks ago.
An unfortunate event is that it's just getting review bombed for incidents that happen in the game. People need to stop being stupid.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
People are just being dumb. No spoilers, because one, it's a spoiler, and two, there's no reason why people should be upset over such a thing. But.
No, because ultimately you have the choice that you want to make.
Yeah.
It does, Just because you have bathroom
Sorry,
doesn't
Captain.
mean.
You want to see Everis's
I just saw Everis, your cat just fell off its tree.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
really?
sure
You're-
your cat just ended his life. He's like, I can't take this anymore. It just
Is that what that noise was?
Yeah. I just
Somebody's got to
watching.
clip that because that's hilarious.
Morgan,
That
can
is
you
so
clip
funny.
that for us, please?
Morgan will be on it immediately.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
your
just
cat
like-
was trying to like go down, and then all of a sudden it slipped and just fell. I'm like, oh no!
I just
Your
like,
cat was like, I can't take this anymore, and then just
Isn't it great
dropped
having
off.
the cat tree right back here?
Yeah.
yeah. I was literally watching it like climb out as you were talking.
Yep.
I was just like, wait, what is that in the background? Oh, it's a cat.
Oh, that's what you're paying attention to. I
Yeah.
see how it
Everis
is. I see.
Everis is like, wow, they're really interested in what I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. And then we're just staring at the cat.
I was listening, and then the real star came on, and I was like, oh, it's Giddy.
That's so
We have
good.
two. We have two.
I do
Aw,
have
cute.
to go in a minute, by the way, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Zenith. Okay, we'll go ahead. So, let me see here. Would you prefer we take the break now, Zenith, to
Yeah, and then you guys can go back to like talking about your games
Okay.
like,
'Cause all
it's
that's left
very
is me.
important.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
because I do want to hear about what you guys did, so I will watch the VOD back. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a quick break. This has been Good Friends, Good Games, and we'll be back shortly. All right, Good Friends, Good Games is back. We just had a long food conversation. All I can say is Dill is completely wrong about everything.
That's not fair.
It's plenty fair.
I mean, to be fair, when it comes to American food, you've had a lot of different like input from different cultures. You can't really say it's like that much, really, can you?
Okay, I will give you, like, you guys call chips crisp. That makes sense
Mm-hmm.
because they crisp. All right,
Yes, it is crispy.
but you calling fries and chips is just
Yeah, well, to be fair, you've been brainwashed all your life into that, and so have I into like chips and
Well, unless you order a batch of fish and chips, which as a kid I did not understand at first.
Exactly.
Wait, these are
See?
fries.
okay.
See,
We have adopted that to some degree, but only in that specific
Probably not
order.
That scenario of fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
yeah, American fish and chips doesn't sound great.
Do you guys still do the thing where like you wrap it in the newspaper or whatever? Is that still a thing?
I think that age has died out now. Maybe like a select few old school fish and chip stores. There's a fish and chip shop in, I think it's Ireland, that still does that. That's like the oldest fish and chip shop.
Did like the
in
government get involved and say
yeah.
there's like lead in the ink or something, and you're eating fish and chips and dying at the same time?
No, it was just because like a lot of people take food out, and in newspapers, it's not exactly what you call like safe and
Sanitary?
sanitary, yeah.
That's
Especially
just
if
the
it starts
vitamins.
raining. So like, these days, a lot of fish and chip stores tend to use like boxes, like travel boxes for them.
Oh.
I like to take my daily dose of ink.
I'm reading the chat. Now they wrap fish and chips in old iPads since that's all the news is on now.
I mean, you never know.
That was a good one, Dax. That Everest
was a
finally
good
got
one.
it, and she's chuckling now.
Yeah.
That Dax.
That
Dax. guy.
Dax. All right.
That's a fact.
I just noticed Everest's record player. I'm gonna start nerding out now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's our new hobby.
about to
We've
go on a
been
30
we've been
we're going on a
collecting old
30-minute
vinyl,
tangent.
Girl, don't even get me started.
Here we go.
old and new vinyl.
Oh. Don't
Oh,
even
you're
get me
getting
started.
right up Eric's alley here.
Yep. Yep. Now we can go down a whole damn rabbit hole and be whole damn different podcasts. All right.
Behold my stuff.
My stuff. I've actually slowed down a lot in the past few years. They've gotten more expensive, so I've slowed down. All right. So, Dill's playing the Pokemon Nuzlocke for St. Jude. Everis is getting ready to do some Horizon Forbidden West, which I actually platinumed. I platinumed that
Did
one.
you really?
Didn't you?
I
Yeah, you did.
I platinumed both Horizons.
Nice. Did
Yeah.
you like it?
He hated it.
No, I didn't hate it. The
You
first
hated
one,
the second one. The second one you hated.
I feel like the first game's a much better game.
Yeah.
Really?
But the second one takes the first stuff. It's not that the second one is bad. I don't want you to steer you away from wanting to play it, right?
No. I've already played a third of it. I'm like in.
Okay,
I'm
you're
in.
in. You're in. Okay.
Like, it takes everything that from elements from the first game and makes them better in the second game.
It does. It makes a lot of the stuff.
Playability wise.
Yes. I think the problem I had with the second game is that it took everything in the first game and just amped it up like 100%. You know, like, oh, let's go find this stuff. And then, you know, they did it in the second game and now it's in there times 300.
Right.
Know? Like, oh, cool.
A lot of collectibles.
I can choose 5 different bows, or in the first one, right? Now there's 5 different bows with 20 different attachments you can put on them.
It did make it more complicated.
And I'm like, this is too much. Like,
they basically, as Erik said, they probably did a lot of things in the sequel that they couldn't do in the first game and put it all in there at once. And then it was a bit too much.
So do you have an issue with playability or do you have an issue with the story?
No. My issues are map vomit. I'm turned off by map vomit. If I go in there and I see like a million question marks, I'll be like, where do I even go?
That's why you can't finish
It's
Elden
me,
Ring.
the question mark girl.
Yeah. See, you're the question mark person, which is perfectly okay. I'm one of those people where I see too many question marks. I feel like I don't even know where to go.
Yeah, and that's super valid.
Yeah.
I get people... I get people that come in my chat all the time. They're like, man, I'm so glad you're playing this game because I couldn't because there was just too much. Like, I can't tell you how many times people came into Witcher and they're like, yeah, I played this and then I just got overwhelmed. It's like, yeah, there's a lot there. But what you do see, and I'm only speaking for Witcher specifically because not all games are like this, the side content in the game is all good. It's on point. It's all worth it.
That is one of the best games ever made.
It's worth doing all of those things. Yeah. You know, it's not just me being a completionist. It's fantastic. And it's well developed. And there's little things in there. Like the other day, I revealed a Leroy Jenkins reference, which was really great. And, you know, just little things like that. It's like, okay, maybe I should read all of these notes that I come up with, which there's not a whole lot of games where I can say that that's worth doing.
Did you get into like the Witcher comics and stuff yet?
I want to really bad.
Okay.
I want to.
Maybe we'll get you hooked up.
That comes back to my conversation where I have a whole book of Witcher. Oh, hi, Kat. Witcher like lore and like background of everything. So I'm into that stuff. I just haven't found the time.
So you being the resident Witcher expert.
Sure.
How is Henry Cavill? Is he the Geralt you dreamed of?
He's okay. So when they first released that Henry Cavill was going to be the Witcher, I was like, I had so much doubt. I was like, this guy has, I don't know. I just didn't think that he could pull it off. But I'm so bummed that things are the way things are, that he made the show and he is the show. Yeah, and him not existing in the show is going to make the show fail. That's just my prediction. And that's,
He makes a better Geralt than he does a Superman. I will tell you that.
Geralt.
Geralt.
Yeah,
Geralt.
It's not a J, it's a G.
GIF and GIF.
GIF and GIF.
So he makes a better Geralt than what?
Than Superman.
You think so?
Yeah. I feel like he didn't get the best opportunity with Superman.
That's true. I'll give you that.
But with Geralt, he absolutely nails it.
Plus, he's just a big video game nerd. I think he's a bigger video game nerd than he is a comic book nerd.
I think so too.
He's said that his favorite games are the Witcher series and Warhammer. Those are his two big ones.
Which isn't he in the Warhammer show now? Or he's producing a Warhammer show?
Yep. He's confirmed to be tied with an Amazon Prime Warhammer show. And I dread the writing room when Henry Cavill enters because he's probably got a lot of knowledge stored in his brain.
They're going to be like, nope, can't do this. They're going to go on strike just because of him. Again, they're like, nope, we're on strike. So yeah, no, I could see it. I could see it. I think the show will fall off too because he's such a core component of the whole thing.
Well, I think that if he didn't, there's speculation that he influenced a lot of the writing in the game as well. Like the writing the show, because the writing would have diverged into one thing, but he's like, no, that's stupid. This doesn't go along with anything that's go in this direction. So yeah, I think that he influenced more than just being Geralt, but he influenced the direction of the show as well.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those ones that like researches the characters and genuinely loves the material.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
that makes a huge difference when you do this nerd type stuff, you know, like you make movies about this game or you do these TV shows. That's why Resident Evil on film and TV is horrible.
Yeah.
No one respects the damn content like of material.
No.
You know. Oh, we
Makes
only
me
have what?
So
12 games that we could go off of. Nah, let's just do our own thing. We don't need to
think
follow
it's
these video
more
games.
than
Not like they
12.
carry the important characters or storylines or anything, you know. Whatever.
How many Resident Evil games are there?
I think it's 12. I could be wrong. I mean, there's probably
Res-
more.
But to answer your original question, yes, I think Geralt is an absolute dreamboat. Henry
Yeah.
Cavill Geralt is a dreamboat.
Were you drooling when he did that whole build a PC thing on Twitter?
I feel like
I
every
didn't
single
see
person
that.
was.
I did not see that.
I had a field day with that because obviously, you know, there's this
bet you
trend
did.
now. There's this trend now on the internet with, you know, like women being treated as objects and da 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 da, and like the way they're viewed on the internet and yada yada yada, right? As soon as this homeboy gets out on Twitter with a tank top and he's building a PC with his muscles showing,
Suddenly it's the cool thing to do.
suddenly
Yeah.
it's okay for all these women to go and oogle him and objectify him and everything.
Auga.
Yeah. That's why I don't get involved in these type of conversations. Like, that's why I don't get involved in those things, because I'm like, you're all going to flip the script on yourselves and not realize it. And then you're going to be real embarrassed.
Yeah.
But,
Also, in the mainline series, there are 15 Resident Evil games.
I was close. I said 12. Cool.
Yeah, you went
Wow,
far.
that's way more than I thought. Is that
Yeah.
now? Is that including remakes? It's like, are they taking RE4 and RE4 remake as two separate games?
This
They
is
should
like the original timeline of the game. So it starts from Resident Evil 0 and goes all the way to Village right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So there's 15
Wow.
not counting. Okay.
These are just like the canonical games, though. There are others as well, like, you know, the Revelation series and everything like that. So
Speaking of remakes, I forgot to put this on the sheet, but Dill will know exactly what I'm talking about here. I was having the most enjoyable time playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. I was having a blast. I was like, this game's amazing. Da 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 da. Put this up for game of the year. It won't win, but it's damn good, right? I was loving it.
Yeah.
But
And then I got to the most horrid, worst video gaming experiences of my career.
oh no.
That little Napoleon-looking twerp
You mean
turned
Salazar?
into this Salazar, pain in my ass czar. I don't care what you want to call
Oh, the guy with the tentacle league.
it. Yes.
Well, yes.
So they
in
took
the remake,
hold on,
they've changed it. Yep.
Hold on.
Go on.
Don't spoil it. This is one of the worst experiences I ever had, and I need to vet. So in
Did you
the
at least
original
beat
game,
him?
he turns into spoiler alert. Sorry, spoiler alert. Resident Evil 4. If you're not this far yet, spoiler alert. In the original
Turn off your pause or skip forward.
hit pause on your iPod. You know, hit pause on
pause
your
isn't going to
Winamp,
solve the problem.
whatever
Get
you're
pause in
listening to.
life.
So
Anyway, proceed.
So, in the original game, he is in one fixated place and the tentacles fling at you. Right? In the remake, this motherfucker decides he's going to fly around with his tentacles swinging around and everything.
He basically becomes a Venom symbiote.
Yes, he is flying around all across this big, gigantic room, swinging the tentacles around and everything. He one-shots you when he goes and he drives into you and he chews on you. Like, he comes in and bites you like a piranha in Mario, and he one-shots you and you're dead.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I saw a picture of him, like, I saw a picture of him online because I was curious as like what the main adversaries in the game are, and I saw a picture of him, like, that stopped me from playing the game because it freaked me out. I was like, I don't want to deal with that.
Okay, so someone in the chat here just said it became too hentai for me. Yeah, no, because to some people this hentai stuff is pleasurable. I'm not judging you. To me, this is horrible. This is a horrible experience. This would be the exact opposite of someone who enjoys hentai. So this thing's flying around, and I cannot kill this bastard. My playthrough went from 15 hours to 20.
Wow.
So,
did you decrease the difficulty? Can you do that?
No, because I'm one of those
No,
dudes
you
that's
can't.
I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm not gonna bitch out. I'm gonna see it through.
Have you done any research into easy ways to cheese Salazar?
I tried them. I tried all of them.
Yeah.
I think this might be one of those situations where it was just like, get good.
Did you have you still not beaten him at this point?
Oh no, I did it.
Oh,
I
Good,
did it.
Good.
I did it. But I'm telling you right now, let me tell you, this dude almost made me break sobriety. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was about ready to run to 7-Eleven and grab a 12 pack and just keep going.
that's how I felt with Moldorm. Seriously. The Link to the Past, Worm
yeah.
Boss.
Oh,
that's
dude.
how I felt with that guy. Maybe you should have played some
I'm trying to.
maybe you should have played some Eye of the Tiger. Maybe that would have been your solution.
I'm trying to think of the last time that a boss has done that to me, and I'm just like, maybe Mega Man Battle Network. I got to this boss called Proton Man, and that took me like 2 hours to beat.
Oh my God. This had to have taken me 5 hours to do just to get through
I'm
this
so
guy.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
This was brutal. Like, I was miserable. I was like,
if I remember, were you playing on normal or professional?
it was not, what do they call it? Hardcore now or something like that?
You were playing hardcore?
No, the one below it. I think it's
Normal.
normal. Okay, so here's the other thing. I think we talked about this in the last pod. When you boot up Resident Evil 4 Remake, it says if you played the original one and beat it, the original version of Resident Evil 4, you're going to do hardcore mode. If you're new to Resident Evil 4, do normal. And I was like, no, I'm going to do normal. This doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how anybody who did the original Resident Evil 4 on normal can consider the hardcore mode the same equivalent. This is absurd.
I know plenty of speedrunners that like will just take hardcore and then even professional.
So here's
mode
the thing:
easily.
I guess this is now a screw up because everyone cheesed this little twerp by doing the rocket launcher.
Ooh, there's an easier way. There's an easy way of the rocket launcher.
I did not have the rocket launcher available to me because I used it on a previous boss, and then
which one?
The one the one where you're in the tunnels and you have to hit the freeze.
The Verduga.
The Verduga. I used it on the Verduga.
Wow, I that one took me about 3 attempts, I think. Before
this was my frustration kicking in. I said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to go buy a rocket launcher and just do away with this." Right, and then that was the worst decision I ever made in my life because then it led to this next debacle. It's like when you. It's like when you date somebody and then you realize they're a terrible person to be with, so you break up with them and then you end up dating somebody worse.
Oh my!
Because you don't learn from any mistakes. Yeah. So I was just like, oh God. But anyway, horrible experience. I finally beat it. I got up out of my chair and like I just walked around my room like this.
Just like, oh my God, it's done.
When thought it would have been a good time to record, like that moment where he's just like,
I would have loved it if Pal had recorded like Eric's reaction to him finally beating the boss.
Oh my God, dude! I thought I was gonna have to go to Best Buy and buy a new controller. I'm like, something's breaking today. It's either a TV or a controller. Something's going down.
Or my brain.
Something just snapped.
Yeah, I was like,
was that experience bad enough for you to not recommend it to anybody?
No. Okay. I still think this is a phenomenal game.
Okay.
I think this is a phenomenal game. I think it's just one of those things. And honestly, too, this stuff is subjective. Like, there's always someone's like, oh, that was easy for me. For me, it just happened to be difficult. And it was miserable.
Yep. That's me for Witcher. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty right now, which I think is not even that hard.
March.
Yep, Death March, and there are people come in and are like, "You're insane! What the heck are you doing?" It's like, no problem with this. Like,
I'm used to this. Man.
So I'm sitting there like, okay, I would still recommend it to anybody. I still think it's one of the best remakes out there and possibly made. It's worth it.
Nice.
It's worth everything.
And Eric, do you want a suggestion of how to, if you do go back to the game on a harder difficulty, do you want a suggestion of how to actually beat it in like 2 hits, Salazar?
Do I like roofie him and then watch him just fall asleep or what?
Well, so you know the chickens in the game and how they lay eggs.
Don't tell me I have to throw one of these stupid eggs at him.
So there are 2 sections in the game where you can get a golden egg
from
one of the roosters. If you get 2 golden eggs and throw both golden eggs at him as he comes on right at the start of the battle, as he comes under at you, and throw both of them with like a 5-second window between each one, you kill him automatically.
You're telling me? Oh, I'm about to get angry. You're telling me in this game, this pain in the ass that I spent 5 hours on, you're telling me this fucker all he wanted was an omelet?
Yes. I mean, he is French. I think.
Okay, he wanted a crepe, whatever the hell whatever the hell he wants. That's all it took.
This is like something that I found out because I watch I watched a lot of content creators playing this game, and the speedrunners who play it, who are trying to speedrun professional mode, were using that method to kill him immediately.
Oh my
Either
God.
that, or they were literally like they use one egg and then they knife him until eventually they get the stagger and then kill him automatically.
Oh my God. I did the attachment, the bomb attachment to the arrow. I did the shotgun the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy does not die.
I think it took me about 3 or 4 attempts on Salazar, but it took me about half an hour to an hour of all that in total because I went through a lot of bullets just to kill him.
That's the other part I was having trouble with. Like my ammo.
So it's like
was
dodge, shoot once, dodge, shoot once.
Because he also he sends down these blobs of like crap that basically explode. Yeah, and they do damage to you basically.
I get a good flow going. Like I would get a good flow going, running around, dodging, bobbing and weaving. The whole thing. An Easter egg. I was bobbing and weaving, and then I'd run into one of those little blobs, and it staggers you so much that you cannot recover. And because he literally, if you stagger into one of those blobs, he gets 2 shots off on you.
Yeah, it's really
because you're staggered so slow. I don't know what it is for someone that is so military trained, where he's assigned to save the president's daughter. This guy moves slower than ass. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
This guy doing backflips, he's parrying chainsaws with a combat
Kung
knife,
fu
all that stuff. But when it comes to running around a map, he can't run. Okay, but anyway, point is, it's a great game. Keep going. I'm almost done with it. I've switched to Jedi Survivor for right now, but go play it. It's a fantastic game.
Good job, Erik.
Leon is ass garbage. I love it.
I mean, at least Ada Wong's in it. That's all I have to say.
You know what? I was thinking, they made Ashley this strong, independent girl in this game. She has fear when she's like being chased, all this kind of stuff, right? It's not, Leon, help me. That kind of nonsense, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you get into the shooting gallery thing, she's all hot up on you when she sits on the, what do they call this thing? The barrel. She sits on the barrel and watches you do the shooting galleries, and she's all hot up on you. Yeah.
She encourages you.
She gives you that smirk, that glare. Whatever. I thought they were doing good here. Come on, Capcom. Actually, no, it's a great game. Yeah. Like I said, I said it numerous times before. It's a great game. Go play it. I actually thoroughly enjoy it. I'm almost done with it. It's great. Worth every penny. Go play. That means you, Everis. Go play.
I'm actually, much like Zen, for my birthday, because my birthday was a couple weeks ago, I did this special wheel spin thing where to kind of encourage like different content for future streams and whatnot. So we unlocked a few things. Two scary games.
Ooh.
Yeah. We had to play a Zelda game, which is probably going to be Ocarina of Time. There's just no question why I wouldn't or shouldn't do that game. 2 90s games, an 80s game. A community game, and then buying 2 games from my Steam wishlist and playing it on stream. So
I like this. What are the 90s options?
I don't have. That's the thing. I'm gonna put together another wheel and we'll spin and we'll see which one it lands on. So I'm off. Okay. I'm up for like whatever. I'm up for suggestions or whatever.
What are your favorite types of, aside from RPGs, because that's an obvious given? What are your favorite games to play?
Story's got to be interesting. I don't know. I'm just I feel like I need to diverge into a broader spectrum. So I'm really open for.
Do you like beat 'em ups at all? Like side-scrolling beat 'em ups?
Until my thumb gets numb.
Wow.
It's kind of button smashy, is it not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not huge on button smashing. I don't know.
My recommendation for one of the 90s ones, I think you should definitely play Turtles in Time.
Hold on. The TMNT,
the Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, Super Nintendo.
I've seen it. Isn't that one more fun with like Peeps
Yeah.
Like I would rather play that with like 4 of my buds with me on the couch and like
Okay.
smashing it up so we can all beat each other's scores rather than playing that alone.
Okay. What's another 90s game that you can do? I feel like Mega Man X would be a great 90s game. Mega Man X is a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good place to go. 90s. What are the most iconic ones?
Metroid?
Super Metroid. I think
That's iconic and classic.
Yeah. I don't know if you've done Super Metroid before.
Seen it, not played it.
Okay, so Super Metroid's fantastic. Definitely.
I'm like, I pulled up a list of like best 90s games.
Yeah,
so I'm just
Super
going
Mario
through 'em.
64 is a good choice.
Yeah.
Someone
that was
told me
one.
like I think was Chrono Trigger?
Chrono
Yes,
Trigger.
Chrono Trigger.
Yes, Chrono Trigger is one of the best RPGs ever made.
Yes.
Isn't that a long game though, Eric?
That's a long one, so I don't know how like your
It's really
intentions-
long, yeah.
I don't know your
Yeah.
intentions like on how you.
It depends. It depends. Like if I'm interested and I want to, finish it, then yeah, we'll go for the full thing.
Because I would say right
If-
off the bat, if you're down for it, I would say right off the bat, Chrono Trigger and Earthbound.
People are saying I should play Super Mario like OG.
That's 80s.
like
80s.
old
That's
school.
80s.
Well, not the first one, but
Then you want Super Mario World.
yeah.
80s
Yep.
wise, you would probably want to do.
I got a whole plethora of like
Okay.
people suggesting 80s stuff, like
Okay, cool.
Pong, and I'm like, really? You want to watch me play Pong for like 4 hours?
That's a good
Why?
that's a good thing though. I like it. I dig it. I dig your spin a wheel of awesome.
It's fun. Like I think it's cool, and so now I've kind of implemented it as like a permanent thing. It's like once you reach a sub goal, you spin the wheel. We got a fun like mix
It's a good
of
option.
other games. So yeah, it's nice. It's fun. I just got a huge list I have to go through now. What about scary games?
Ooh, I got. What
I
kind
know
of
you've got a
scary
whole
game you
list.
thinking?
Now here's the thing I have about scary games is I would really rather not play a scary game that is overplayed. Now we're talking like,
How about Soma then?
Soma, I hear, is pretty good.
Soma is like a very good psychological horror that's not really well known, but to me was marvelous. I thought it was really mind breaking and scary.
really?
Yeah.
So
It's creators of Amnesia. Interesting.
Yeah, so we're rolling out like the Outlast and all that stuff,
Yes.
right? The stuff
Correct.
that's been
I have played Amnesia, and it wasn't that scary, if I'm being honest. And it's probably because back in the day I watched like PewDiePie play it for the first time and whatever, and so I knew
We all did that.
I knew all of like the all the secrets.
I don't look at my library real quick.
But I have Village. I would love to play Village.
Alan Wake.
I actually have that in my
Did you
Steam
play,
library at the moment.
Did you play 7?
That's like what Zen's favorite, and it's scary as absolute farts. Like, yes, I've not played it, but
7 is the better game than Village, I think.
Yeah, but 7 is pretty good.
7 is
like the
pretty
7 is the
frightening.
gorier version, I would say, of
Yeah.
like the Resident Evil.
7's pretty
franchise.
frightening. Although Resident Evil 8 has one of the most frightening video game experiences I've ever had.
I heard
Except
that
for 6.
the idea behind 7 was that 6 wasn't scary enough, so let's release 7 and just like release all the horrible things that we could possibly throw at your face.
7 is very Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes.
Yeah.
70s
is.
like slasher Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's that one. 8 is more of like gothic-y,
8, yeah, and 8 also had a lot more like very attractive ones.
What about Silent Hill?
Silent Hill's a good one.
Silent Hill could be a good one, yeah.
Silent Hill's a good one, but it's a little
That's
dated.
like it is dated and it's
The
like
Evil Within.
Someone actually brought up a good
that's
one. I don't
freaky.
know if
I've seen it.
Yeah, someone brought this up in the chat here. I don't know if this qualifies as your overplayed or whatnot, but Alien Isolation is frightening too.
The one
That
that just
one-
didn't it just get an update? Like
Okay.
what was the scary game that came out that got an update?
Scary game that got an update.
It was like like remaked or remastered or something.
Oh, that's Dead Space. You're talking about Dead Space.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Dead Space. That's what
Dead Space could be another one.
I think Alien Isolation is a scarier game. I would try that one.
Yeah. With Dead Space, at least you can shoot back.
They only matter if you do them in the dark.
kind of. I've only played all the scary games I've played in the light, and I still
No
freak
night
out.
lights on this one, girl. You got to do it in the dark
No, don't do
with
me
the
like
headphones.
That. Don't do me like that.
All right, I won't do you like that.
It's like I don't know. Ah. You know, thing is about scary games is that like once I finish it, I'm like, wow, that was really great. But while I play them, like I'm going through hell. My brain is going through hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I want to do chat justice, and I want to do something that they're going to be entertained by. But at the same time, I don't want to dread it so much that I like put it off for months and months.
I think
and months.
Alien Isolation will work, and I think if you're down with the gory Texas Chainsaw vibes, I think Resident Evil 7 is.
Yeah,
there was an interesting like indie one that I was taking a look at. Let me pull it up. Let's see what it's called.
So while Everis pulls that up, I'll go ahead and I'll talk about the Jedi Survivor for a little bit.
Sure.
The sequel to
how is Star Wars?
Star Wars time. It's time to get nerdy. So the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order is Jedi Survivor. I've only got about maybe 4 or 5 hours in. Right off the bat, I can say right now this game has some issues.
Yeah, I heard the PC port wasn't great.
Everything that was showing up on Twitter regarding the performance issues and something like that, they're all valid.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have any. I don't have any of the huge glaring issues that people are having. My computer is fairly reasonable to perform or to power it and run it at 2K. But I am barely hitting that 60 frame a second mark. Like on high settings.
Apparently, it's the higher end PCs that are having the issue.
Yeah, I'm on a 3080 with a 3700X, so that's
about what my graphics card is as well.
Yeah, and I'm running into some occasional hangups. I get a lot of stuttering. It loads like the shaders and all that stuff kind of in advance, and it stutters. They did release a patch for it that alleviated a lot of the issues that people were experiencing. So, but that being aside, fair warning, people on Xbox and PlayStation 5 and all that stuff are running into these same problems, performance issues, etc. This game was not optimized for anything.
Okay.
Maybe a Super Nintendo it will run. Who knows?
Coming to Nintendo Switch soon.
Yeah, coming to
1
Nintendo
second
Switch.
into the game. Kaboom.
Yeah. And then somebody on Reddit asked, is this going to work on a Steam Deck? And most people were like, this doesn't even work on a normal PC. So good luck. I haven't given that a shot yet, and I don't intend to. But
so buy it on console as opposed to PC?
I honestly, if you are one of those people that is tight with your budgeting and don't buy a game, every couple weeks or whatever, just wait till it hits that, what is it?
Yeah.
$30 sale mark or whatever.
Yeah.
Wait until it goes down in price. Either that or just wait until the patches all come out for it that fix the issues.
Right. And by then the price will have gone down.
Yeah.
What I can say though is for the stuff that works in this game, it is a fantastic game. It's beautiful. You're on the first planet. It's Coruscant, and Coruscant is like famous in Star Wars Star Wars lore. And it's a very downtown, like neon city with billboards and everything. And that it's just a beautiful looking game. The combat itself feels great. It feels fairly fluid. Just the feel of swinging around a lightsaber in that Batman Arkham, combat-esque style is just great. For those that do not know, these Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order games, it's basically a Star Wars version of Dark Souls.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. Did you like the first one?
Me.
I love the first one.
I loved it too.
I love the first one. It was such a welcome, fresh breath of air that Star Wars
game that's great.
Yeah, that needed to happen for a long time.
Oh my god.
And plus now that game is becoming canon, and BD-8 was on the Mandalorian, the droid BD-8 the droid is in the Mandalorian.
That's cool.
All that kind of stuff, so it's becoming lore. Story-wise, I'm still diving into this thing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it for the most part. It's been a nice change of pace from the Resident Evil 4 nightmare I've been through for the past month. So I was like, okay, I'm ready to try something new for a little bit. But I'm going to keep diving into it and I'll report a little bit more. But I can definitely attest to the people that are having the performance issues. It's one of those things, kind of a choppy mess right now.
My fiance is also going to be playing. He's not playing. He wants to play the new one, but he hasn't played the old one yet. So he'll be playing the old one. So I'll probably be watching him play.
Yeah, Pow's doing the old one right now too. My girlfriend's doing the old one.
I want to replay it, but
it's good. That was a good game that came at the right place at the right time, a little underestimated, and it ended up being fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, if you love Dark Souls and you are a Star Wars nerd, this is the perfect marriage of just the game for you. It follows a lot of the same premises. You follow along a path, you go to a meditation station, and then you meditate. It refills your stims, which are your health recoveries, and then all the enemies respawn. So it's very similar to Dark Souls styling. You can parry with the lightsaber, you can parry combat, all kinds of great stuff. Oh, some of the things I really enjoyed right off the bat, the double lightsaber is actually available to you very early on in the game.
Nice.
The actual bow staff version of the lightsaber is available early on. If you played the original one and you took certain routes, in the original one, you would get that at some point. Are you
playing the same character?
Yeah, you do play the same Cal Kestis, the same character. He's even aged up, and he's got that Jedi beard that they all get in Star Wars. In Star Wars time, you can actually, this is pretty cool. In the original game, your modifications to Cal were basically restricted to clothing. Now you can add modifications. You can give him a bigger beard. You can give him the Jedi ponytail.
The mullet.
The mullet, the Jedi mullet.
The Padawan ponytail? Or the Padawan braid?
Yeah, the Padawan braid. Like, you can give him all this kind of stuff. You can, shave him. all these things. And you can actually really customize Cal down to what your version of a Jedi would be. The lightsaber customizations are a little bit different now. There's more access to materials and things of that sort. It's been a lot of fun. Not too bad. Someone in the chat here. I want a Jedi that's basically a dwarf when it comes to their beard. I mean, that might be doable.
He might slice it off with his lightsaber.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. Eventually, he's able to weave his beard into a new lightsaber.
It's like a little not a mace, but like a whip.
A whip.
A lightsaber whip.
The whip saber.
The whip saber.
So that is Jedi Survivor. It's available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. What's the new one? X? Is it X? Yeah, Series X. And then Steam, and of course EA Origin or EA app, whatever it's called now. It is a $70 purchase, so keep that in mind too. It's a $70 game.
That's the standard now, isn't it?
Yeah, you're paying the full standard on this guy now. And we talked about this last pod. Tears of the Kingdom is actually the first $70 Nintendo game.
Yeah, well, they know they can charge that much for it.
I probably paid like £50 for my Tears of the Kingdom pre-order, which is like $6.
I don't know.
I thought the Euro US conversion was like even now, like it's a dollar to dollar ratio, like a dollar conversion.
It varies. It always varies. Honestly,
that's a daily change.
Yeah. But yeah, I got like a bundle pack that came on with a poster as well. So I got like a Tears of the Kingdom poster too.
Ooh, all I got was the game. I didn't buy the. Now I'm pissed because Target. Apparently, if I go buy it at Target day of, I get a fanny pack.
Ooh,
I want a Target. Why? I'm so disappointed. I'm not going to get a Target fanny pack.
I wanted the legendary edition so bad.
Did anyone buy the Switch, like the actual Tears of the Kingdom Switch?
No.
I think someone in Zen community did. Because I've seen pictures in his Discord that look pretty good.
I want the.
I don't need it.
Is it OLED?
Yeah, it's the OLED one.
Yes, OLED.
Yeah.
That's standard release now. Everything else is slowly getting phased out.
Yeah.
Like
I was the only Switch that I was tempted to get when they were releasing like custom Switches was the Pokemon one, the Scarlet and Violet one. That one nearly got me, but I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah. It's weird because like the OLED is the standard Switch available now. But like, I still go to the store. I still see some of the old Switches with the new battery, the battery update.
Yep.
And then I'm still seeing the Animal Crossing one every now and then.
Oh,
Is it 300 or 400?
The Tears of the Kingdom one is $350.
Well, OLED, just in general.
Oh, the OLED general one is $350, I believe. I think.
Okay.
I can confirm this for you here. Let's see. OLED.
I'm trying to think of how much a Switch cost.
It's £320 in UK per standard currency. That's probably like $350 to $400.
Right. So let me see. OLED Switch on Amazon is currently, I don't know if this is. Oh yeah, $349 sold by Amazon.
Yeah.
How much is the Tears of the Kingdom Switch then?
I'm looking at Tears of the Kingdom Switch.
Okay. I'm tempted, dude. I'm tempted. I'm like, I don't need this.
Do you get collector's edition if you get it? That'd be dope.
No, you do not get the game with it.
That's stupid.
It is.
That's really dumb. Super dumb.
Okay, they are
Missed
charging you
opportunity.
an extra $20 on the Tears of the Kingdom one, so it's $360. Oh, I'm sorry, $10 more.
That's really dumb that they don't include the game.
I know.
Just increase the price and include the game. Boom.
Yeah.
That's
Easy
a thing
peasy.
now. Although I'm looking at this Tears of the Kingdom Switch. Oh, there's the Triforce. I was like, there's no Triforce on the controller or anything. I just love Zelda consoles.
The Pro controller is very tempting for me. I will say that. The Pro controller looks very cool.
You buying for everyone, Dill?
If you want it.
Oh, hell yeah. Now we're talking, buddy. Whip out the credit card.
Oh, that is sick looking.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh. Yeah, this is clean.
The weird thing is, though, the console they released on like 2 weeks, like a week ago. They're releasing the Pro controller, the case, and the game on the same day. But the console came out 2 weeks beforehand.
Because they're probably intending to sell more of the controller than they are the console.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be one of those things too. This is interesting how this works too, is because there's people that play like their Switch solely, handheld with the Joy-Cons.
Mm.
There's going to be people that are probably going to want to experience this on a big screen TV. They see it this way. They want to experience on the big 4K TV or whatever. So they'll dock it. So they'll sell the controller because their intention basically is to think, okay, people are going to go pick up the game and then buy the controller with it.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And the case too. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think that's where they go with that. All right. So yeah, that was Jedi Survivor. I'll report some more in a couple weeks here once we plow through. Actually, it'll be a couple weeks before we hear that because next pod will be probably the Zelda hour.
Yeah, that's going to be entirely Tears of the Kingdom. So sorry, Everis in advance.
Yeah, so I don't know what Everis is.
That's one of. I think if you wanted to, we could set like I could come in at a later time, like after the break or something. Because that is, I'll be honest. Like usually, I don't care about spoilers too much, but with that game, I do want to be spoilers.
I would not want you to. I would not want you to be like, "Oh God, you guys spoiled the whole game for me." Should have played.
Should have played the game. No.
Yeah.
I do want to be. That's one of those things. Like Breath of the Wild is the same thing. Whereas like I don't know how I did, but I avoided spoilers of Breath of the Wild until I played, and that was like a good 6 to 8 months after.
Did you love it though? Did you love Breath of the Wild before I go to the news?
It's like one of those. Oh, I fell in love with it, and it's like it's hard because I enjoy the open world experience, whereas as a lot of people who are Zelda fans are like, there's that controversy between being a linear Zelda versus an open world Zelda, and I'm definitely on the open world Zelda train, but that's just because of what I'm used to.
Yeah,
so
no,
I was a big fan.
I figured it was your perfect fit. If you were going to play a Zelda, that was the one you should play for you.
Oh, absolutely! I played the whole thing, and I even did like half of Master Mode until we got to the lightning boss, and that was one.
The lightning one is difficult.
It's so hard on Master Mode. It's so hard.
It was hard on normal mode.
Yeah, it was.
All right, let's get into some of the news here. Dill, I'm going to ask for a little bit of your assistance on this here because, this is the UK. You seem to have a little more knowledge about this, at least how this stuff works in your country versus
Summon the Britishness.
Get the British in here. Hold on, I'm going to set out a I'm going to set out a little
so
seance here. Let me
cups
put
of
out the
tea.
tea. Put out the tea, the crumpets.
Tea and crumpets.
Yeah, that's and we're
Fish
going
and
to summon.
chips.
We're going to summon the Britney. Okay, here's the big news out of the last couple of weeks here. The UK has blocked Microsoft's $69 billion deal to buy
Nice.
Activision Blizzard.
Very nice.
So the way this works, if you do not know, Activision is currently looking to be acquired by Blizzard. The deal has been made, but of course in the US and of course the UK.
Activision is looking to be acquired by Blizzard.
Is that what I said? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Activision Blizzard.
Microsoft
is looking to purchase. Sorry, it's been a minute. Microsoft is looking to purchase Activision Blizzard, and the sum was $69 billion, which is insane. Nice. I'm glad they're saying the number now, because when this first happened, no news outlet wanted to actually print the number 69. But okay,
why not?
$69 billion acquisition. Of course, in the U.S., this has to go through all the regulatory channels like the SEC, etc. And has to be considered a non-monopoly. Yada yada yada. This is the same in the UK apparently. Here, I don't know what the UK law is. Dill can touch on that a little bit here, but let me see here. So. They have blocked the merger last Wednesday. Microsoft's $69 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard, thwarting the biggest tech deal in history over worries that it would stifle competition in the fast-growing cloud gaming market. This is an interesting take, and we can kind of talk about it in a second here. The Completion and Markets Authority said in its final report that the only effective remedy to the substantial loss of competition is to prohibit the merger. The companies have vowed to appeal.
Yep.
The deal has faced stiff opposition from Sony and is also being scrutinized by regulators in the US and Europe over fears that it would give Microsoft control over popular game franchises like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. The UK watchdog's concerns centered on how the deal would affect competition in cloud gaming. This is interesting in this article because this is what they're really emphasizing here, which involves streaming games to tablets, phones, and other devices. That frees players from the need to buy expensive consoles and gaming computers. Cloud gaming has the potential to change the industry by giving more choice over how and where they play, said the chairman of Competition and Markets Authority. It means it's vital that we protect competition in this emerging and exciting market. Microsoft said it was disappointed and signaled it wasn't ready to give up. Let's see here. Microsoft's statement: we remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal. He said the watchdog's decision to reject a pragmatic path to address competition concerns and discourages tech innovation and investment in the United Kingdom. So here's what's interesting. So Dale, do you have an idea of what this authority group is? Like, what's the Competition and Market Authority? Do you have an idea of what that is? I'm gonna guess.
Yes, it's basically probably like your version of FTC, probably.
Yeah,
I would say.
SEC. Yeah.
They're
basically, from what I'm gathering, it's their job to make sure that acquisitions and stuff don't turn into monopolies.
Basically, yeah.
A monopoly being, if you're not sure what a monopoly is that
it's a non-ministerial government department in the UK responsible for strengthening businesses' competition and preventing, reducing anti-capital competitive activities. Basically, It's a monopoly-busting company.
It's a monopoly-busting organization. So monopoly being like your source for a specific service or product, etc., is not limited to just one entity that provides it. So, for example, a good example of this, Microsoft is not unfamiliar to this stuff. They were cited as being a monopoly back in the Windows 95 days. Mm-hmm. Windows 95 and 98, they were being cited as a monopoly because most computer products, et cetera, were released with Microsoft Office and Windows 95. And then the big one was actually preloading Internet Explorer on all their machines and making it so that Internet Explorer was the only real valid web browser out in existence there. So that's what they have a history of this.
Which, to be fair, they did kind of like win that fight, didn't they? Because,
they won that fight.
Windows is like everywhere now.
So right now, the big discussion is, and we're all familiar with this deal here. The big concern now is that Microsoft now owns a huge, if this deal goes through, if this deal goes through, Microsoft owns a huge majority of the most popular gaming franchises in the industry.
Yeah.
They own World of Warcraft. They own Call of Duty, which is obviously the big elephant in the room. That is one of the highest grossing franchises every year. And not only that, the real big thing that no one's discussing is they own, if this deal goes through, they will own the largest mobile and like internet gaming platform in King.
Moms would agree.
Yeah. So that is the big concern here. So what this argument is saying is that the UK is saying that this deal is not valid because it will stifle competition in the cloud gaming market.
I mean, I can't say I don't fault them for that, because what Microsoft are trying to do from the looks of it is they're trying to become the dominator of the cloud gaming industry.
Right. They want Game Pass in every home.
Yeah.
You know.
Basically. And every phone, on every tablet, on every kind of like thing you can possibly access the internet with, they want a Game Pass on there. That's basically what they're saying with this like merger.
Which is interesting too, because Microsoft has made several statements saying that they're willing. They signed a 10-year deal or something with Nintendo, to get Call of Duty on Nintendo.
I'm gonna so look forward to see people trying to play Call of Duty on Nintendo Switch and say 1 second later it blows up.
They're gonna do. I'm gonna guess they're gonna do the cloud version thing, like they're doing with the Resident Evils and stuff like that. It's like a cloud.
Even the cloud version though is like incredibly taxing on a hardware that's 6 years old.
So. This is what's funny to me is like they're specifically focused on the cloud gaming thing, not the console thing. They're like, oh,
no, they've given up on the console thing. Phil Spencer himself have even like commented on that, saying that we're not in the console game anymore. We're all about like getting what's successful for us, and that is the Game Pass.
Right? They don't care. I think it's become pretty obvious. Microsoft doesn't care how you play the games as long as you're playing the games. They don't care if you're doing it on your PC or if you're doing it through Game Pass, or they just want you playing their games. They don't care if you buy an Xbox. They just want you to play their games that are in the Xbox ecosystem, which includes Game Pass. Game Pass is a Xbox ecosystem product. Yeah. So, any opinions, Dill?
I don't blame them for stopping them, because like, if you think about cloud gaming over the last 5 to 10 years, there have been a lot of other companies that have tried to get into this industry, the cloud gaming industry.
Google was the primary one.
Yeah. Google would be the primary, which failed because that's now basically like non-existent and they're no longer supporting Stadia. I think Amazon was trying to at one point with Luma, but
it's
I don't know what's
actually a
happening
thing.
there.
Luna is still actually a thing. So
Luna's still a thing. You know, so that was another one that were trying to do it. I think Steam at one point was.
I don't know if Steam doesn't have it, but you do have like Nvidia does the GeForce Now game streaming platform.
Nvidia does the GeForce thing. Netflix, as you said, about to say, I think you said Netflix is trying to get into it, and I think Netflix does have a
they have a couple games on there. So,
but it's all mobile games at the moment. But the fact is that like Xbox are the ones who are heavily trying to really, really, really push forward with cloud gaming, even though a lot of companies have tried and failed because they didn't want to put too much effort into it.
Yeah, because I'm guessing the UK's argument is, oh, you guys are going to go and own Call of Duty, and then your only way you're going to be able to play Call of Duty in the world is on Microsoft's cloud. That's what I think the UK's, even though Microsoft has said numerous times they're not tending to do that.
The UK are just not a fan of them doing that solo, like them being the big owners of cloud gaming in general, because the way that I think they're seeing it is they think that competition in this industry is healthy, because it means that people will try and like do better against each other and make better technology against each other. That's the way it's always kind of been with the industry, within an industry. Like, healthy competition makes better products, and better products means people get better like access and better.
And people vote with their wallets.
Experiences, and people vote with their wallets. Yeah, exactly. They both spend their money on what's like the best, basically. And I think they think that this big merger will stagnate that and will not bring forth enough new technology for future cloud gaming services, basically. And we know who knows? Maybe like Microsoft might just like put a lot of money into this. It goes nowhere, and then they just abandon it. And then now they own like Call of Duty and Candy Crush and everything like that.
Yeah, they've raised the price of they did a previous article where they said they were raising the price of Game Pass, and then the dollar trial thing was going away. So now they're trying to actually lock the people in and pay.
Yeah. That's the thing. And I think that's what the UK government is afraid of, is that Microsoft will get a hold of this and then they will basically be able to do whatever they want, basically, without any competition.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully I explained that very well.
Yeah. Before I go, Everis, do you have any kind of like opinions or insight or anything into this?
Not necessarily.
How about the deal itself? Like Microsoft actually owning Activision and Blizzard. Do you have any kind of like opinions or anything?
How about like the price, like how much they've already spent with like the previous merger they did with ZeniMax?
No, I don't know. Like, there's so many like underlying
layers
reasoning.
To it.
Yeah, there's so many layers that you kind of have to diverge beneath the surface of it and really kind of investigate. And it's not a whole. I haven't done a whole lot on that, so I can't really put forth an educated opinion.
So just looking at the basic facts here. Microsoft, if this deal goes through, they own the largest gaming franchise in video games right now, next to, Mario and Zelda and all that, obviously. And then on top of that, they own the largest mobile gaming platform.
Right.
Which honestly, I think like you said, there's so many layers to this deal. I don't think Call of Duty is what the prize is in this thing is. I think it's the King.com. It's the King.com mobile game market that has Candy Crush and all that mobile.
What is it?
The mobile money.
The in-game purchases stuff.
Yeah, the mobile pay-to-win type of stuff like that's where the real money is in this whole deal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not Call of Duty.
No, not. I don't think because that's like a one and done thing. Like you don't. Well, because isn't there a lot of like microtransactions now in COD and stuff?
Yeah, in Warzone in particular.
Yeah, but I think Call of Duty is not attracting, everyday housewives and mothers and stuff like that. Right. I can tell you, my mom is just swiping nonstop on that Candy Crush stuff.
Yeah, I saw my mom playing it last time I was in town as well. I was like, really? Yeah. You went down that avenue?
So, okay, so let me ask you this.
Sure.
Do you think Microsoft actually, taking the King.com thing out of it, do you think Microsoft owning Call of Duty cripples Sony in a way? I don't want to say Nintendo because Nintendo hasn't had Call of Duty since the Wii, so that's not really a factor here. But
what, the Wii U?
Wii U, I think, had a COD, yes. But does it stifle Sony? Because Sony's arguments, hey, if they own Call of Duty, that affects us greatly. We can't compete, or it makes it a lot more difficult to compete.
Well, you eliminated that factor but you're speaking strictly on like COD?
Because the video game industry wise, the company that would own Call of Duty holds a huge financial market in gaming, because Call of Duty is one of those ones that sells consoles.
Yes.
It sells consoles, it sells product, merchandising, everything. Because remember, it's not just the game itself. All the Call of Duty merchandising and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
The licensing fees and all that stuff, that all goes in Microsoft's pocket now too.
Right. So that means that there's no more releases on PlayStation at all?
Well, that doesn't mean the case of that, but it means that PlayStation has to go through Microsoft in order to get access to Call of Duty.
Ooh.
See what I mean? So if Sony's like, I want Call of Duty on PlayStation 6, or whatever, now it's like they got to license it through Microsoft.
Yeah, because if you remember in like the noughties era, especially when the console war was in its height, Call of Duty was the big thing that fueled the console wars. Either you were on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360.
Right. So it's kind of one of those things where it's so. Go ahead.
I personally, I would rather them not monopolize everything. And if that's,
I agree.
I would rather it be diverged into more things because that creates competition, which creates a better thing.
Right.
And that's basically what the UK government has said.
That's my take on it.
That's a fair assessment. I'm like inclined because Microsoft says they're not going to do it. Microsoft says no, we will work with Sony. They tried to show goodwill. They tried to show goodwill because they said, "Hey, we just signed this 10-year deal with Nintendo. Nintendo's going to get caught."
They can say whatever they want to say, but actions speak louder than words.
Well, that's the action. They signed the deal with Nintendo saying, hey, we're willing to work with Nintendo. That means we're willing to work with you. Now, what the stipulations of that deal to work with Sony are a lot different than what the stipulations are to work with Nintendo are. They're two different companies and two different entities, two different deals. Do I think, okay. Honestly, I don't think this deal should happen.
No, I agree with that.
Because it's like, it's one of those things. And now people are going to argue this and be like, well, Sony does it. I don't necessarily agree with Sony does it either. We're forgetting now that Sony owns one of the largest franchises in video games that has now become one of the most popular TV shows on the internet. So Sony's is not, innocent in this whole thing either. They've been doing the exact same thing Microsoft does. But when it came down to who had the more money and bought Call of Duty, now it's a problem. It basically said, hey, you can't do that. That's not fair. Well, tough luck. We spent the check. Here it is. I don't think any of these, I don't think Microsoft should own it.
No.
I don't think that should be one of the things. In fact, I think all independent developers should make all their games available on all the platforms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that too.
I'm actually the believer that if I pay for a copy of this game, I should be able to play it on this, or this, no matter where I go.
Yep, I agree with that.
Very much like I'm gonna sound old, like a CD. I bought this CD. I should be able to play it in this Sony CD player or this,
Oh, could you imagine?
Kenwood CD player. It shouldn't matter where I play it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I paid for your game. So I mean, I
shouldn't
have to pay another copy just because I want. Yeah,
right. My friend has a Kenwood CD player. I shouldn't have to go buy another copy of Beatles' White Album to play on his CD player versus mine. Right? It doesn't make sense.
No.
Now, one company does own the licensing and patent to the CD design, but it's available to license out and whatever. So the company that develops, in this case, The Witcher, the company that develops The Witcher, they should be able to go and distribute it to whichever platforms they want. And the person that buys it should have access to all those platforms. That's the way I see it. No,
I agree. I think we're harmoniously in agreement here.
Yeah, I think that's the way it should work. But obviously, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo will see that all differently because, no, we need them to buy our hardware.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, the cloud market takes us away from that hardware-based, ecosystem.
I mean, the Xbox are like heavily going into more like the cloud gaming because that's where they see their money, really.
Right, because the cloud market, and I think this is what the UK's argument is. It's like, hey, if you do this, you stifle the cloud market because now you can't get it on Sony's cloud service or Nintendo's cloud service, yada, yada, yada. You're holding this golden goose. The cloud market is supposed to kind of alleviate us from this this walled garden of console. So like if I buy an Xbox, I'm buying into the Xbox ecosystem, the controllers and everything, the games are all on Xbox, every game I buy. Same with Nintendo. So the cloud market's supposed to save us from that because then again, now I'm able to just download an app. I pay for Microsoft service. I should be able to just download it on my Roku or my NVIDIA Shield or whatever, or my Xbox or my Sony, and just play the games. My Steam Deck. That's the way it's interesting. Now, whether or not this deal is going to actually go through because of this UK thing, who knows? The follow-up to the article is that they've appealed. If there's anything exciting in this section here. Let's see. Microsoft Vice Chair Brad Smith said, "We remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal. We've already signed contracts to make Activision Blizzard's popular games available on 150 million more devices and will remain committed to reinforcing these agreements." And everybody's favorite CEO in gaming, Bobby Kotick, has also shared a statement saying that the CMA's decision is far from the final word and stating that the deal is good for competition.
I call sus there because it's Bobby Kotick.
It's Bobby Kotick. No one's listening to this guy.
Plus, also, if this merger does go through, Bobby Kotick does get out of the job, basically.
That's why.
That's one benefit from this merger, I guess.
Yeah, he's getting a golden parachute.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft. Okay, so here's some updates here. Microsoft has a strong position in cloud gaming services, and the evidence available to the CMA showed that Microsoft would find it commercially beneficial to make Activision's games exclusive to its own service. Microsoft already accounts for an estimated 60 to 70% of the cloud gaming market.
Excuse me.
So they already got 60 to 70% of this thing.
Yeah.
And
they want more, basically.
And they want more.
What's new,
Yeah, what's new, right? Hey, we're not big enough. Let's see. Like I said, here's the big thing. The deal would reinforce Microsoft's advantage in the market by giving it control over gaming content such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft. And the CMA indicates that absent the merger, Activision would start providing games via cloud platforms in the foreseeable future. So they're basically saying that if this deal doesn't go through, Activision would find a way to get them in the market, in the cloud gaming market. They'll put them on Nintendo service, Sony service, Microsoft service, etc. And then here's the big kicker, because they were trying to have this deal done by June. Yeah. The whole merger was supposed to be done by June. Who knows what happens with that now that this pickles in there? Chances of this closing this year are slim. So
that's inherently good news.
We'll see what happens. Let me look at the chat here real quick. The U.S. needs to take a preemptive approach to monopoly enforcement and prohibit mergers that give companies monopoly power leverage over an industry. If they are not doing it now, it's because they can always do it later. So the U.S. is kind of its own thing because we have this whole thing of what do they call them? We have lobbyists.
Yeah.
The U.S. has lobbies that go into the government and Congress and talk to these representatives and do backdoor deals and stuff that then gets the lawmakers on the side of the companies. That's why these monopoly things happen here. And then this is another thing that's interesting is we tend to pick and choose what we choose. We tend to pick and choose what's a risk of a monopoly or not. So like, for example, or we choose what to care about, what's a risk for monopoly. So like, for example, decades ago, like some of us were babies, some of us weren't even born yet. The phone industry was literally owned by AT&T. Like the whole phone industry almost. They owned, like, again, 70+% of the market. So what happens is the telephone is a critical service that affects people's lives. They need it to do their livelihoods. So, businesses need telephones to operate. People need telephones to stay in communication with family, emergency services, etc. So this is a direct utility that affects everybody's lives. So now if a majority of your population has to go into AT&T to get their phone service, the AT&T charges what they want. Hey, you need us, this is the price to get it. That is a blatant monopoly on a, critical thing. So the government did get involved and broke AT&T up into smaller companies.
Okay.
Which is odd enough. AT&T has gone around and started buying up companies again and remerging
round two.
Right.
Fight.
So another good example of this, I don't know how it is in the UK, but Everis and I will be very familiar with this. For example, a good example of this right now is internet providers. You move to a specific, you move to a specific region in the country or whatever, and that internet provider has a hold over that block of zip codes.
Then you're stuck with it.
Then you're stuck with them. Like I'm stuck with Spectrum. I don't know what Everis is stuck with.
Comcast?
Comcast, yeah. See? So like, and let me guess, you tried to look and see which internet options you had in your area, and it was only Comcast, right?
Yeah. Or I think we CenturyLink or something.
Yeah.
Which, who the heck wants CenturyLink?
And then the thing about it too is like one of them, it'll be like, okay, this is really, really good service. They have gig up, gig down. This is what I need to do, right? And then the other service
up to a gig.
Yeah, up to a gig, you know, the wording up to. Oh, 300 is almost up to a gig. You're getting there, you know.
You're not even halfway.
Right. So, but that's what Everis and I experience is like, oh, okay, let me go look at this internet provider. And then you look at the other provider in the neighborhood and they only offer, you know, dial up at, you know, an eighth of what, you know, the other provider's offering. That's because the other provider is basically the one that built the infrastructure for that neighborhood and that area. They own that part of the network.
Right.
The internet provider thing is a real problem. It's going to end up being a monopoly if another one buys another one.
Yeah, in the UK we've got so all the phone lines, as far as I'm aware, in the northwest part that I'm in, they were all built by a company called OpenReach.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So they built all the lines for everything, basically. It's all been built by them, but you can choose your provider for who you want for those lines, basically.
Yeah.
So you get a choice. The one that I'm currently with right now is BT because they offer the best speeds for the price that they give me. They charge me about $55 a month for up to a gig download, basically.
So here's the question. Do you have other providers that are available in your area?
Yes. I could get Virgin Media, I could go for Sky, go for TalkTalk.
See, you're already better than Everis and I. Everis and I are stuck with like one or two.
Yeah. But the one to get the best speeds for was BT, so I went with BT.
Yeah. There it goes. Makes sense. But you have options as a consumer.
But I had options.
Yeah.
But I have experience with those options.
Yeah.
And I know which one are shit and which one are not shit.
Right. The key thing is that you have a choice to pick your providers and which we don't. Yeah. Internet is a huge issue here.
Yeah. And I was skeptical with BT at first because I had a friend who I grew up with who had a terrible experience with BT, but they've improved their system a lot because with my internet, I've had maybe about one outage in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, too. If they own 60-70% of the market, even more than that, 80%, they have no incentive to maintain the infrastructure.
No.
And provide the best service because they already own it. Like, where are you going to go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're stuck with us or you're not.
Yeah, because like at least with providers as well, the providers in the UK offer like deals as well for a set period of time with contracts and stuff, and that's what they do to try and entice people to move over to them.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys have healthy competition in that space, so we'll see what happens with this Microsoft Activision stuff. It's kind of one of those opinions where it's like I don't think it should happen, and that's not me being a bitter Xbox or Sony fanboy or whatever. It's just I don't think it should happen. I should be able to buy a game and play it on any platform I want to play it on.
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
It's the developer's decision where they want to put it, you know? Okay, let's go ahead here. Okay, we got two $1 billion milestones, Dill. I stand you corrected. I said it would likely unhappen because
I told you it was
You said
happen.
It wouldn't?
I didn't think it would happen because it's a very rare case.
It's too big. It's too big. I mean, you got some solid...
Yeah.
You got some solid actors in it. You know, everyone wants to see this person play this character. You know, that's all the. You know,
So-
there's just too many fans for it not
True.
to be a thing.
True.
So here we go.
And also, let's not forget that, like, at the time you were talking about that, it hadn't released in Japan yet.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one thing I missed. All right,
Yeah.
Does chat know we're talking about Super Mario movie?
yeah, we're talking about Super Mario movie. Super Mario movie hits $1 billion at the box office. Straight out of the New York Times, if the article would load. Let's see. Animated film Super Mario Brothers movie crossed the $1 billion box office threshold on Sunday. This was prior to May 1st, making it the 5th movie to do since the start of the pandemic and the surest sign yet that theatrical movie business is on the rebound.
Yeah.
Wow. But are we talking like box office here?
This is
Yeah,
box
box
office.
office.
Wow. That
It
has
got-
not happened in a while.
It got 500 million the first weekend. Something
It
like
did.
that.
Wow.
Like, first week, you got 500 mil.
Did we?
Now, has
did
anyone
we
here
all see
seen
it
it?
yet?
I've not seen it.
I haven't either.
You haven't
No.
seen it yet?
I kind of figured I'd just wait till it got released.
I'm going to
Oh.
wait until digital release and then watch it there. I have seen a lot of clips,
Watch
though,
party.
especially with Jack Black as Bowser.
The Jack Black song is memeing all
Yeah.
over the place
Oh,
now.
Peaches, yes.
Have you
I
heard the
still
Peaches
think-
song
Is it
yet?
a musical?
No. So
No.
the Peaches song is something that Jack Black made up for the movie, and it
I
is
love him.
just
I love him so much.
it's not only is it glorious, he made a music video for it as well with
Yeah.
a company, and it is glorious. It's just basically Jack Black playing the piano and dancing around with Peaches. Go watch it.
I
Go
love
watch the
him.
music video.
I love
It's
him
so good.
freaking
It's-
much. I
Jack
love him so
Black,
much. I
in
love
my
him.
personal opinion about Jack, he is basically what happens when you put every single point into charisma in a person.
Yeah.
That is Jack Black in a nutshell
So-
right there.
I never look at growing up over the years. I never thought I would see Bowser like,
Yeah.
you know, I never thought I would see Bowser do some like song of admiration and crush like on Princess Peach.
I mean, they
But
couldn't
when you
do it
see
in
it-
video game, but you know.
But when you see it in context and you're like, this is some shit that Bowser would do.
Yeah. you would.
You know, like he's this tough like turtle that, you know, spits fire and everything. But when you get him alone and he's by himself and he's in the privacy of his own room, he would do some shit like this.
Yeah, he would.
And I was like, okay, I get it. Jack Black literally carries this movie.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Oh,
Oh.
dude, he gives Bowser so
I've-
much charisma and depth.
I've
It's
not
like,
even watched it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this just for him, basically.
We should watch party it. That'd be so amazing.
we're gonna
Yeah,
watch
we
Party.
should.
We should watch Party. I know we did the when the trailer came out. The guys and Morgan and them got on here, and we did the trailer reaction.
That's awesome.
If you go and I said this before in the last pod when we talked about the movie, if you go in expecting to watch a children's movie, you will enjoy the movie. Don't go
Okay.
don't go in expecting this movie
Okay.
of depth and, you know,
Right.
What
Like-
about that like really dark Luma?
he's creepy.
Yeah.
So it's not. Wait, have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Oh, okay. So Dylan and I have not seen it. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
I've seen it. I went on opening weekend and saw it because
So is it kind of like you're watching a Pixar movie and it's a kids movie, but then there's like that subliminal adult humor
okay,
underneath the surface type situation? Like, is that what we're talking about?
you're gonna go watch it's not quite the level of Pixar. What you're gonna get is you're gonna go in, and if you go in expecting to watch a movie intended for children,
Okay.
you're going to be rather pleased with it. This is not
Okay.
a movie that has like this depth like a Pixar movie does. You know how Pixar
I didn't
always
ex-
has these like
Yeah, I didn't expect there to be like some kind of like lesson to be learned, but you know,
no, but there
No.
is a story of like family and self like it's a story of family and like self confidence and if you know
Dom
thing
Toretto
humility at all.
no, not really. I don't want to say humility. It's more like, you know, standing up for yourself and standing up for your fear and all that kind of stuff and
Okay,
becoming like
okay.
your hero, becoming the hero, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's more like becoming your own hero, but there's not all these layers of depth to it or nothing like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what you will get as an adult, and I said this the last pod too, you go into this movie expecting a kids movie that kids will understand and enjoy, but in return, you as an adult, you're going to get sent on this nostalgia trip
Yeah.
through basically 2 hours of Mario references.
That's what I expected. And that's what I want, I think, from it. I don't want it to be this next level, like Super Mario Universe is way more than it actually is. And it's like,
no, it's not.
You know?
It's just a kids movie. It's basically, it's a kids movie.
I want all the memes. I want all of that, references. And
there's not much memeing in it. There's honestly
really, there's not like joking about like references of like situations in as you're playing the game that they kind of pulled into the movie.
So
somehow,
I'll give you an example. They'll give you like one reference. This is a reference to like everything where Mario says, "Hey, Luigi, you need to stop being afraid all the time," which is a direct reference to Luigi Mansion.
Sure. Yes.
But there's a lot of cool, like, I'll give you some of the more obscure ones because most people won't grab these unless you're like a Nintendo fanboy like I am. The restaurant that they hang out in is called Punch Out, which if you pay attention, Mario was the referee in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So they reference it that way. And then the most obscure reference I thought was in the whole thing. Actually, the second most obscure was the arcade machine in the bar is called Jumpman, which is actually the original Japanese name for Mario.
Oh.
Like that was the project name of the game,
Nice.
Jumpman. And then the other real obscure one, like I said, you wouldn't notice unless you knew. And when you saw it was in the Brooklyn finale, they do the scene in Brooklyn. On the wall, there's graffiti art, and it's actually the playing card backing from Nintendo's playing card company because Nintendo started as a playing card company.
Wow.
So, like, if you look at the back of a playing card, there's their mural on the back of the playing card. That's what's like one of the artworks in Brooklyn. So like if you were not a Nintendo historian, like if you just knew Nintendo from, Mario, like Zelda, etc., you would have never guessed that.
Wow.
Ooh.
But some of the best stuff in that thing is the big closing battle is total adult nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do very, very specific things when they take on Bowser that will just, as an adult, will take you back to the 90s.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. That's
awesome.
Yeah. Like, it's so cool when you just, like, watch it, I think we said when Dill and Zenith and I talked about it last week, like, one of the coolest things, because in the trailer, you see it, so it's not really a spoiler, but you see the Tanuki suit, which is the raccoon suit, which is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yes.
You don't see the raccoon suit till the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
For the big finale, which I thought was one of the coolest things, because they could have done, they could have totally modernized. They do a very healthy dose of Mario Kart. Like, you're getting a healthy dose of Mario Kart.
Rainbow Road all the way.
You get Rainbow Road. That was in the trailer. Like, you're getting Rainbow Road, and then you're getting all these cool, like, you're getting this whole sequence basically just dedicated to Mario Kart.
That's great.
So if you're a Mario Kart fan,
that's what I need in my life.
Yeah, if you're a Mario Kart fan, that is going to hit all your heartstrings, and you're going to really, really smile. I just loved watching all the old school references to things. It was a great game. Great game. It was a great movie.
Good game, good movie.
I stand corrected. Dill, you were correct. It would hit $1 billion, and it did.
As I said, I had a feeling it would because it's a very popular franchise.
Don't worry.
That's what I think too.
Nintendo Multiverse is coming. Here we go.
Oh,
here we go.
Super Smash Bros. Movie is gonna come. It's only a matter of time.
Isn't there a Zelda movie? Something?
Zelda's the tricky one, dude.
No, we don't know, honestly.
Zelda's the tricky one.
Isn't that in the realm of guesswork here? Like,
I'm sure they'll do something. The
come on, they did Super Mario. They have to. I mean, Zelda's like the next best.
We talked about this.
I saw an image of someone who thinks a good idea of what Nintendo could do is to split up between TV shows and movies for a lot of their products.
Yeah.
I think Zelda was in the movie section.
Yeah.
I think it would make a better TV show.
I think it would be better as a TV show. I think it would be better. But I was the one where I disagreed. But they put Metroid in the movie one. And
Metroid needs a TV show.
Do you think so?
No, you know what? No, Metroid could be a
I
movie.
think it could work as a movie.
Okay,
honestly,
so Everis's topic of Zelda here. So here's the thing with Zelda versus Mario, right? If Mario's done bad, we kind
No
of
one
just
cares.
we kind of just laugh at it, like, ha,
Yeah,
that's stupid.
yeah.
Mario looks
Yeah.
like an idiot,
Yeah.
right? Ha ha ha. But if this Zelda's one of those things where if it's screwed up, Zelda is in the same realm of Star
It's-
Wars and all those things.
yes.
If it's screwed up,
It's-
people are mad.
Anything that has depth and lore and
Yeah.
all
Right.
this stuff, there's way more importance. Like you can't
Right.
botch it. You
You
can't
know,
screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't screw it up. And like it's one of those things, Zelda is that one that needs to be handled with care, and treated like this beast that it is, because if they don't and it's messed up, it'll be like Star Wars. People will just be
Yep.
pissed.
Yeah.
Angie.
So
Or Lord of the Rings.
yeah, Lord of the
That's
Rings
where that's my beef. That's my beef. I was not a fan of
the Amazon thing.
Amazon TV show.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
That's a conversation for another day, though.
Here's another
Okay.
one that people get really, really pissed off about if you mess it up. The other one to hit $1 billion. Now, opinions about the situation possibly incoming here. Fair warning. This panel here is completely neutral on this stuff in a way, shape, or form when it comes to this podcast. The Hogwarts Legacy has reached a $1 billion in sales. Now, this is the one that was held up to huge scrutiny because of the obvious creator and their person's opinions about, the alternative lifestyles of individuals that they choose to live on their own terms. Hogwarts Legacy reaches $1 billion. And it is one of the best-selling video games of 2023. According to WB, it is now their 5th largest franchise
That's correct.
in, in product here. So no one's been provided the information regarding the develop and marketing costs for Hogwarts Legacy. So there's no idea how profitable the game is. It's actually just taking $1 billion in revenue. That's what they can assess. When it came out on PS5, PS4. Oh, I'm sorry, PS5, Xbox
No.
Series X, and PC, and then on May 5th, PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because I think this says a lot about the cancel culture thing. People left and right were trying to get this game like banned or canceled or don't buy it, don't play it, yada 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 yada. And obviously here, none of that worked.
Nope.
I think it produced the opposite effect. In my
I
opinion.
agree with Everis. I think it escalated it even further. And
It brought way more attention to it, and it wasn't the attention that they wanted to get from it. And instead, it created a more positive experience
I think
for
the
game itself.
What's interesting to me, and I think it's wrong in general. Well, let me start here. The opinions of J.K. Rowling, obviously are just inappropriate. They're her
Absolutely.
opinions. I can't take those away from her. But they're inappropriate. They're not wrong. They don't sit right with me. I am fully on that side of the fence where I'm like, I don't like these opinions, right?
Correct.
But then again, deep down, obviously common sense tells me those are her opinions. I can't do anything to change her.
Mhm.
Like those are her opinions. I just choose to not listen to them and pay attention to them. And then, vote how I please. But the one thing that really, really does bother me about this whole thing is there was a lot of people, and I doubt a majority of these people really did, but there was a lot of the thing was like, oh, I'll just buy this game out of spite. You're pissed off about it. I'm going to go buy it out of spite just to piss you off
Yeah.
even more. That I don't sit with well either.
I don't.
If you
either.
if you don't agree with the person and you choose not to buy her product, that is perfectly fine.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
My fiance played it. He loved
Right.
it.
Hannah played it. So it's one of those things where it's like you as individuals made your own choices, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not, the assessment I made out of this whole thing before we actually, we're talking about the impact this thing has. The assessment I made about the whole thing is like, can I imagine, let's say I'm the 40-year-old dude that works like construction all day, 40, 60 hours a week, right? I find out there's a Harry Potter game where I can be my own wizard and go to Hogwarts and all that kind of stuff. And you get all excited and you go buy the game just to find out that your working life and all this stuff that you deal with throughout the day, you're now a piece of shit because you bought a Harry Potter game. You know what I mean? Not having any idea what's going on in the background with that person. Like, just imagine being that guy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're being called an asshole and a fucking turf and all this nonsense because you purchased a game that you were excited to play. That was the other thing too. There's a lot of people out in the world and society and stuff like that have no idea what J.K. Rowling's opinions are and what she's said.
Right, because they don't spend hours on social media.
They don't spend hours on social media looking up this stuff. Like, oh, what did J.K. Rowling say this week? You know, no one, like very few people actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm saying a majority of these sales came from. You know, these are just your average everyday people outside of that YouTube circle, that Twitch circle, that TikTok circle that just play video games in their own free time. They're like, oh, cool. There's a Hogwarts game. I can go be Harry Potter myself. Cool. I'm going to go buy this. And then they went home and played it. You know, the backlash from both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides. I'm saying you're both equal in this. Both sides were just deplorable. In the behavior and how the treatment of others.
Yeah, it just, in my opinion, it doesn't give you any credit to behave that way.
Right.
It's almost like you're both.
You're doing yourself a disservice. You're trying to fight for this cause, but behaving this way to do it actually causes that cause a disservice.
Yeah.
And not only that, all it did was benefit the person who created this franchise in the first place, because he probably got a fat paycheck from all this.
Right. And that's the thing too. I don't understand how people don't realize this stuff. Every time you acknowledge this person you're upset on social media,
yes,
people
you're just bringing more attention to this thing that you hate. Yeah. Yeah, that's been it's so hard because I try to be really like behind the scenes on politics and opinions and that kind of thing. And so I say nothing, which inherently people get mad at for anyway. But it's like, you're exactly right. That's been my standpoint this entire time. It's like, anger isn't going to solve anything.
Right.
Zero. It's going to solve nothing. So that's my take.
You know, we saw this recently too with the whole Bud Light debacle. Like, these people freaking out because Bud Light used a transgender person, you know, in an ad campaign or whatever, and then like Bud Light's primary drinking demographic of, you know, Neanderthals were like just up in arms, you know, trashing grocery stores, selling Bud Light and all this kind of stuff. Like me, I would have been like, just don't drink the product, dude. Like, if you don't like the route they're going, just don't drink the product. There's tons of other product you can go drink.
I found it funny that a lot of those people were switching to Coors Light when Coors Light has been LGBTQIA+ positive since the 70s.
Yeah. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just... Anyway, the point is of this whole thing is the game's made $1 billion. All that fighting and all that backlash and all that stuff didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, all it did was accelerate the game's like attention and income, basically.
Success inherently, yeah.
From my understanding, it's actually a pretty damn good game.
Josh said that it was everything that he wanted it to be, and he's like Hogwarts fanatic out the wazoo. Like last night, we went and saw the Sorcerer's Stone in concert. So we saw a live orchestra while the movie was playing, which was super cool. So, I mean, he's big fan. And it was everything that he wanted, everything. So it was just a well-made game.
Yeah, you know.
From a video game standpoint.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. It just got this ridiculous association to it because the person that created this whole world just happens to be a ignorant opinion person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the definition you're looking for there is turf.
Yeah, it's inappropriate. It's just like inappropriate opinions, you know, you know. And it's just...
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to like hone in on that kind of... those kind of people, I mean, just it's in every company, in every product, and everything. Right. You know, are everywhere. Those kinds of people. So
these people are sprinkled through everything, you know. And
so it's, you know, there's no benefit to that kind of behavior in my opinion.
Which is what's interesting to me too is like in her case, you know, she's a person of notoriety. Yes, you have your right to your opinions. You have your right to speak your opinions and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Common sense would tell you though, like, you know, sometimes you just need to keep your opinions to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and not put them on for the internet world to see. You know, but she's apparently one of these type of people that enjoys that engagement and interaction,
It fuels her.
It fuels her.
Goblins.
What do they call it? It's like narcissist or whatever, right? Like it's narcissist behavior. Yeah, it's narcissist behavior. She enjoys it. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. The game made $1 billion. All the backlash and everything didn't make a dent. I'm going to say here, if you want to play the game, don't feel ashamed for wanting to go play it.
You spoke to my heart.
What?
I've been ashamed to play this game since it came out.
Okay, so talk to me about that. Now I'm curious. Like, talk to me. What's the...
I didn't want the backlash. I didn't want any of that. I didn't have to talk about it. I didn't want to have to experience any of that. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to avoid it altogether.
So the question for this is, did you want to buy it and play it on stream, or did you want to do it in the comfort of your own home?
I see the thing with stream and myself is that I enjoy playing games with others. The sense I like other people to experience what I'm experiencing with me. It makes the experience way more fun for me.
Right.
And so it probably would have been one of those streamable games because it's in my realm, right? It's an open world RPG. You're playing a character and you get to experience a world.
You're a Harry Potter fan too, right?
I am, not as much as Josh, but I am, yes.
Right.
And not as much as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is like that's my movie franchise thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's up my alley. I probably would have streamed it, but I don't want to deal with that ass garbage backlash, you know? Like, I didn't want to have to do the conversation and, like, you know, I want it to be accepting for everybody, whether or not you're on the left or the right, or, you know, the front or the back, or the purple or the blue. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted everyone to be able to have fun together, and it doesn't matter where you are. And I just felt like I couldn't do that. You know, it would be too stressful for me to be there and have to be in the back of my head. It's like, what if someone comes in my chat and starts being XYZ and blah, blah, blah. So that was what I wanted to avoid, essentially.
Right. And I actually can respect that too, because obviously, like, I've known you for years and I've always seen you as a good person. Like, you're just a person that doesn't want to upset anybody. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're just I'm just here doing my thing. Yeah.
People are people to me. Everyone's got their story. I want to hear it. I want you to be a part of mine. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is a collective whole in my heart, you know?
Right. And I totally get it. And I could see how, like, you want to play it and, like, it bothers you to want to play it because you don't want to hurt or upset anybody.
Correct.
And, yeah. And that's understandable. And that's fair. Me and Zenith were on the boat where, like, like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable paying for this.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just don't feel comfortable for paying for this. I may play it, but she's not getting a dime of my money.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
people argue with this. Well, like, how are you reading the books or whatever? There's libraries, people.
Yeah.
Visit them sometimes.
I mean, how long have the books been out?
Right.
Like,
you know,
avoiding it now, what is that going to do? You know?
Yeah, exactly. She's already something happened.
Something dropped. Cat did something. I'm not sure. I just heard something.
Did Harry Potter tap you on the shoulder? Did Lumos go on or whatever it's called?
Lumos Maxima.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, I hope you get over that hurdle. And if you do want to play it, I hope you do take the opportunity to go play it if you want to. I don't want you to feel stifled because of the opinions of others. I'll
probably play it. I don't think I'm going to stream it.
That's fair enough. Play it in the comfort of your own home.
We own the game. Like, you know, it'll just be one of those games that I play on my own time.
See, that's the thing too. The argument of, like, don't give this person any money, that rule is already broken. You know, like, you bought the game already, so playing it, and
she's already been paid.
Right, playing it, and enjoy. You know what? I hope you do go and just play it and just get over that hurdle.
Did someone use Expelliarmus on your cat?
I don't know which one that is. I'm only 3 books in. I have not finished them.
It's like a stun or like a remove I think it's remove your wand from your hand.
Yeah, it's
Like disarm.
Right.
It's a
Disarm, yeah.
spell.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wind down with this last thing here. So yeah,
Ooh.
Everis, I hope you get to go play it. I hope you kind of overcome that hurdle and go play it. Don't let something like this game, be
I
the judge of
appreciate
the
that.
person that you are. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
You
Thank you.
know who you are. You are a good person. You are not. I don't know I don't know a hateful bone in your damn body. So
I have a hateful bone in my body against this whole Witcher BS thing that's going on with the TV.
Selective
But
anger. Got it.
yeah, but yeah,
that's the extent of it.
set yourself free.
I want to.
You're in a mental prison right now. Set yourself free. Enjoy life. It's too short. And it's only
That's
going to move.
true.
It's only going to move faster for you. You're going to get married,
It's
and then
true.
eventually you're going to have a
30
family.
I'm 30 next year.
What?
Next year's a big 30.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 40 in. What are we in May? 3
Yeah.
months. I'm going to be 40.
Oh.
Do I look
God.
40?
What? No.
Oh, thank God. You guys are being so
No.
nice to me.
Dude, when I met you, I thought you were in your 20s.
Hell yeah. Dill. Hell yeah. The power of youth combined. That's the Hispanic in me.
Yeah. Latina genes.
Well, look, did you say Latina? I mean, Latino genes.
Latino.
Oh, okay. I think it's
Latina
Latino
is
genes.
female.
I'm going to be like,
Okay.
but then again,
yeah.
Hispanics, though, like, we'll look young forever. And then when we start aging, it's just, poof.
Yeah.
Everyone still thinks I'm 18, so yeah, I'm with you
Yeah,
there.
you look like a young one. It's good, though.
Small,
It's good, though.
small fry, baby fry.
It's good. It's good for you. You should be like, thank God.
It is good for me. It's one of the reasons why I'm weightlifting. I want to be young forever, baby.
I want to be young forever. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit here before we wind down. We got about 15 minutes left here, and then we're going to call it.
Okay.
So this is the most recent one here, but we'll talk kind of encompassing about it, because I'm sure we all have some opinions on this. Phil Spencer reacts to the Redfall's bad reviews, explains what went wrong. Let's see.
I know what went wrong.
I have not played it. I didn't even know it was a game until it got released.
Yeah.
So
Here's some of what went wrong. They released the game when it wasn't ready.
Yeah.
oh
That's
no,
it.
another one of those.
Another one of
Yeah,
those.
one of those ones.
This is direct from Phil Spencer here. This article's out of GameSpot. There's nothing more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community. Spencer said during an episode of the Kinda Funny Xcast, I am upset with myself. Spencer also lamented the fact that Redfall was initially supposed to launch with 60 frame support and only ended up being 30 on console. I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their abilities and aspirations, but I also need to have a great selection of games that surprise and delight our fans, and we under-delivered on that, and I apologize. I don't know what's going on with this game. I've heard of this game. I don't know what this game is about. It looks like first person.
Yeah, do explain. Do explain.
Yeah.
Explain, Dale.
Okay, so I've not played the game, but I have seen a lot of footage and reviews about it. And it is what I describe as a hot mess. Like,
Okay, but
What's
what
the
kind
genre-
of hot mess?
what's the
type
genre of
hot
game?
mess?
so the game is a multiplayer. It's a multiplayer co-op shooter game, basically, where your goal is to rid this entire town of vampire lords that are trying to basically take over the world.
Oh, it's like Left 4 Dead.
Basically.
Okay.
But the issues is that the overall movement and the vibe of the world feels empty. Because it's open world, but there's not a lot in the open world for starters. The vampires themselves are very clunky because they can be blocked by simple like boxes and cars. And they can lose sight of you very quickly. The enemies as well are quite like dumb as well. The AI
Do
is
they
quite dumb with
sparkle?
them. So like you can easily overpower them.
Did you just smile at the
Um,
sparkle?
Do they sparkle?
When you kill them, they turn to red dust.
So yes.
They spark.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay, Everis is in.
Yeah.
She says, "Give me
Yeah.
money."
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
It was a joke, a vampire
I
joke.
just said also that it's kind of weird that this game's locked at 30 FPS on console for some weird reason. When on PC it's fine at 60 FPS, but even at 60 FPS, it's still not a great game. Like it's just, and also the game itself isn't that long according to what it said. It's about an 8 to 12 hour game story for a $70 game as well.
Okay.
Which is like for $70. And it's just like it's clearly like either Arcane Studios didn't care about this game and released it anyway because they had a quota to meet with Xbox, or they hadn't finished it properly at this point and they were running out of time, so they just said, we'll release it and then finish patch it along the way, which has happened quite a lot of times this year, actually. Now,
So let's talk about that right there. So this game obviously is a hot mess. There's no love and care, no pride taking into it. It's just crank it and release it. We'll fix it later. This is a common problem this year so far. So,
which from a company like Arcane as well, who have made Dishonored series, Prey, Deathloop recently, which was really good from what I heard.
They make good games.
Yeah, but like from this one, it just felt like soulless and empty.
So let's talk about this a little bit here because this is a common problem as we wind out the episode here. So this year alone, we've had The Last of Us Part 1 that went on PC, was just a complete disaster.
Unoptimized as fuck.
To what?
Unoptimized as fuck, as I call it.
It basically didn't run.
Yeah.
If it did, it run at a hat big mess. You know, shaders weren't loading. If the biggest, so we ran into this. So The Last of Us Part 1, downloading shaders is kind of the new trend in these type of games, these big, huge games. What it does is you download the pre-shaders prior to starting the game. That way, the shaders are already preloaded. So when you play the game, it's less effort for your system to process the shaders, and it allows the game to perform better. The problem with this whole thing is we tried this with The Last of Us because my girlfriend got a copy with her graphics card. Is I installed it. I couldn't play the game for 2 hours to test it because it took almost an hour and a half to download the shaders.
Yep.
You can't even start the game until the shaders are downloaded, which is insane to me.
That's big oops.
Like, you're all excited to go play because now let's keep in mind here, this is not accounting for the, 45-minute to 1 hour download to actually get the game on your machine. This is additionally on top of it to get the shaders on your install to play the game.
Yeah. I remember like Horizon.
I think Horizon has them.
Forbidden West was kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Where you got the initial game. I think the PlayStation was like, okay, if you want to download or if you want to play the game now, here's 45-minute download and then it'll continue downloading the rest of the game while you play it. But that was not the case here?
No.
Oops.
Yeah, you could not launch a new game in there. It would not do anything until those shaders download. Yep. Now the shader thing is interesting because the Steam Deck uses this a lot. The Steam Deck will pre-download shader packs for whatever games you have installed on the deck. So for a lower performing device that is utilized in a Steam Deck, that makes sense to download them ahead of time and have them available on the device when the game goes to process whatever it needs to render. That makes sense to me. But these high-end PCs like this, that most people are running these games on, it shouldn't need a 2-hour download of shaders. You know what I mean? So that was the first instance. That game ran like complete ass. It was just a mess. The shaders are downloading and not even loading.
Yeah, and then what followed on from that and all the other games that have had problems this year is apology letters as well from the development companies.
Oh, the infamous apology. Everyone remember the Cyberpunk apology letters? That beautiful yellow background saying we fucked up again.
That's the most infamous one, I think, that started the whole thing.
So we have we had The Last of Us Part 1 this year. Then we had Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor has the same problems. That game was unlaunchable as of the start of the launch. It wouldn't run. It would crash.
Yeah, there's so many games like this now where PC is like the It's like the butthole of releases right now. Like,
Yeah.
And now we're
Like
looking at
it-
Redfall, which now apparently the butthole has made it to the taint because now the consoles are running like Redfall like ass.
Yep.
You know, so
That's
like,
unfortunate.
so like,
Yeah.
what is actually going on? I don't work in this business. I don't know what's going on.
This is my opinion about the game industry right now. Is the problem is that a lot of game industries have to meet a quota of time to get
Yeah,
a game released.
It's all about the quota.
Yeah.
Quota. When in reality, what makes a good game is taking the time and the effort to making said game.
Mhm.
That's why games like God of War Ragnarok, like and the previous God of War installments, like Marvel Spider-Man, like
They need to stop. They need to stop like giving like advertising the game too soon.
Yeah,
Like I think
agree.
people
Thank
they're
you.
advertising the game too soon.
Yep.
And it's only because people are like, when's the next game? When are
Yeah.
we see next? The next Elder Scrolls? When is XYZ going to happen? And it's like, they want to satisfy those people, but it's like you're not doing yourself a service here because now they have to wait. They're like, oh great, this game is coming out. Now we have to wait all this time, and now you're going to get the next wine. People are going to whine again and be like,
The next wine. You're going to get the next wine.
The next level of whining, be like, okay, you told us the game's coming out. Now when's it going to come out? And now that there's all that pressure, it's like, you need to stop advertising games so soon. Like, give it some time. Like that's what we did back in the day. It's like, games came out when they came out and there was no pressure behind it. And you need to kind of reintroduce that.
The one company that I respect the most who don't do this and actually will only release information on a game and a trailer and gameplay and a release date not long after they release it is From Software.
From
Software.
Nintendo also is in this because
Nintendo
Nintendo learned
agree.
their lesson. Nintendo learned their lesson. They did the Metroid Prime thing. And then they found out like Metroid Prime is a mess and it's not going to be ready. They learned their lesson and they stopped doing that. Now it's like, this game is coming out in 3 months. Here's the trailer. You can get this in, what are we in? May? You'll get this game in July. Or it's ready for some kind of demo or something is ready to download now. But I agree with Everis. Like I'm sitting here, that Elder Scrolls 6 was announced like what? 3-4 years
2019,
ago?
I think.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
And that thing is nowhere near.
We won't
At
be seeing that
least
until probably
they're
the
taking
end of the
their
decade.
time.
Yeah.
At least they're taking their time with it.
I know, but they didn't have to
At
announce
least
it.
I hope
They
so.
should have just waited until it was more ready before they announced it.
Right. And I think part of this too, the community doesn't help any of this, right? The community sits there with twiddling their thumbs. Hey, when are we going to get Elder Scrolls 6? Elder Scrolls 6, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When they're sitting, the developers showing all these cool games, they're like, hey, you might like this game. No, I want Elder Scrolls 6 or I want Elden Ring Part 2. Where's that? And then, like, okay, I guess we got to crank that stuff out, Like it's...
I'm happy with... Sorry, I butted in.
Go, butt in.
No, like I appreciate Nintendo because they pushed back Tears of the Kingdom, I believe. The original release was like last year, Christmas-ish or something. And like, no, it's not ready. We're pushing it forward. They were honest. They were forward. They were like, yes, it's not ready. We want this to be good. If you're going to do that if you're going to advertise early, you're going to be like, yes, this game's coming out. At least be honest and be like, look, we want to give you a good product. Okay, we're going to take our time with it. Tell that to the people because the people that you want to care, like the people that you want to
play these games,
be happy, are the people that are going to appreciate that you are taking your time with it.
Yeah. I think also another industry that I think could benefit from this, as much as I love this industry so much, is Pokemon. Pokemon absolutely could take more time to make their games.
Well, the problem with Pokemon is, at least in my opinion, the problem with Pokemon is it's not just the video games with Pokemon. There's all types of licensing associated with Pokemon, plushies, the Pokemon cards, the TV shows and everything like that. So they need to keep that money train rolling because it all works. They're like, oh, we got a new Pokemon game. Let's go ahead and let's release the new trading card game packs and let's get those out into the stores so people are all playing the card game and playing the Pokemon game on their Switch, and then they can go watch the cartoon. Then they can drag their mom to the store and buy the plushie. You know,
that's the main issue, though. They care too much about the merchandise rather than the games themselves.
you would almost think that a company cares about money.
Oh,
Where's
my
the Pikachu
God.
face? Where's the Pikachu face meme? You know, like,
I know, right?
but I agree with Everest. I'm sick of just seeing the whole thing. Hey, here's this. They do this big old epic trailer. Oh yeah, the game's coming. You want Elder Scrolls 6? It's coming. We're not saying when, but it's coming. Like, I don't need to know. Like, don't tell me until I can buy it. You know, give me that
Yeah.
3-month window so I can plan out a paycheck and be like, oh, I'm going to go buy that when it comes out. You know, the Tears of the Kingdom thing was different. They had a release date. They said, hey, this game's not ready. It's coming this day now. That's fine. You know,
You don't release something that's not ready.
don't release something that's not ready. Nintendo's not dumb. They know they're going to make a fortune off this game.
They are.
You know, they can do it. They know they're going to make a fortune off this game. It's not like everyone's going to write off Nintendo. Oh, they delayed Tears of the Kingdom for 3 months. Screw them.
Well, Elder Scrolls 6, they know they're going to make a fortune off that game.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And I'm betting anything it's going to run like ass.
Oh, it's going to be broken on the
Yeah.
release. Absolutely.
gonna
That's
run
what,
like
that's what
ass.
Skyrim was like.
Is that how you feel about what's the new space game is coming out by
Oh, God.
Starfield?
Starfield.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's going to be the Skyrim of space, basically.
They basically slapped space, like, they slapped space skins over Skyrim. That's all it's
It
going to
wouldn't
be.
surprise
It's either
me.
going to be
It
really
wouldn't
great or
surprise
really
me.
terrible. There's no like in between. So
Are you
we'll
excited
see
for
how it-
Starfield? Because I saw that trailer and I was like, I'll wait.
No,
Yeah.
space is less my thing. I'm more on the fantasy thing.
I feel like if you want to play a good space game, you play Mass Effect.
Yeah, Mass Effect.
right. But that's not as much open world. It's more a linear
No,
experience.
that's a linear, but that's
True.
cinematic. What happened to
All
the
right,
cat now?
my animals are all over the place. I apologize.
Meow.
Hey, they're probably hungry.
Yeah,
But-
my cat's been jumping up on the. He wants me up real bad.
Okay, so here we
at this
go.
point.
We will we'll see what happens. Obviously, Redfall's kind of a mess. We'll see what happens with Tears of the Kingdom. So let's go ahead and let's wind down here. Someone did say in the chat here, I don't mind if a game is bad at first as long as they stick with it and fix it like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was a whole
True.
different beast. They went
True.
and fixed that. Final Fantasy 14 was the same thing. They went and they fixed
Yeah,
it.
Yoshi P did incredible work on that.
That I can respect, but you can't
Yeah,
keep
but-
doing it.
I appreciate that they do it, but at the same time, it's bad because it's really bad to release a game and then fix it while it's out because
the
then people lose
equivalent-
interest.
It's the equivalent
People lose
of
interest.
it's the equivalent of going on a date with somebody. They're late and then they say, "Oh, sorry, I won't do it again." The second and third date they're on time, but then they go right back to being late again, and then you're kind of like, you know, doesn't work that way. It's like you got to
Yep.
be consistent. Like you have to do good job the whole way through. If you make a mistake somewhere down the line, it happens. We get it, but you can't keep doing it, and that's what a lot of these companies are doing. It. That's my 2 cents.
Don't release a game before it's ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't really. No matter what the internet says, because the people whining and crying and everything about it, the people whining and crying and everything about it are just, they're the minority. They're just the loud minority, you know, compared to the people that will be excited to have gotten a game straight on time. On that note, don't release until it's ready.
Yeah,
All right. That was a long pod despite Zenith
that
being
was
gone. It probably would have been 6 hours if Zenith was here.
Zen Mr. Latte.
I want to go ahead and I want to take a moment. We're going to thank Everis for joining us.
Yeah.
Everis, we appreciate having you here. We hope to have you here more. So don't leave us.
Wow.
Don't
Why
leave us.
are you so little faith in yourself?
You
Don't
can't
leave
And
us.
just
leave
up and
now.
leave.
You must be here forever.
I mean, who knows? You get up and you be like, hell no, never again.
Nah.
You like go to your
I mean-
fiance, hey, you know what they're saying in here? We can't do
I mean,
this.
No,
I'm surprised that I haven't been booted yet.
Dill, I could never.
we need our Brit.
I already told
Hmm.
Dill that I would fire Zenith before.
You did. You said you would fire him before me.
Yeah, I would fire Zenith before everybody. I would never fire Zenith.
No, he's too sweet.
Now that doesn't mean anything. Dina screws up. I can be like, you know what this means? You need to fire yourself.
Yeah. True, he does.
Because I ain't doing it.
Either that or we get Morgan to do it. We get Morgan on and
Yeah,
we'll
we get Morgan
Morgan's
to
the
do it.
replacement. Morgan will replace Zen. That'll be the idea.
So in normal fashion, whenever we have someone new on here, Everis, you are free to go ahead and take the mic and spit out your contact info and where they can find you and all that good stuff.
You can find me on twitch.tv/justeveris. I stream once or twice a week. Open world, large scale RPGs. We're just finishing up Witcher. Witcher Blood and Wine DLC. And then continuing on to Horizon Forbidden West. I'm very excited about that. You can also find me on Twitter, same tag, at justeveris. And I'm also on Instagram as Fit by Ev. I do gym posts on there. So if that's your jam, that's available to you.
Awesome. I like the gym jams.
Thanks.
I do. It's a nice change of pace from seeing video games on my feed all the time.
Really?
I like the gym jams, yeah.
I like your one gym follower.
No, it's starting
Gym
to come
account.
more and more because like I've been watching the C-Bum content, so now all that gym stuff is starting to show up in my feeds.
Yep.
And I'm like,
All the booty.
The booty.
So much booty.
booty shorts.
Booty games.
Yeah, booty gains. All right. If you are interested in following us anywhere else outside of this podcast, you can do the ! social media. That will give you the link tree to all the good stuff. To TikTok, Instagram, YouTube channel, and then the Spotify and Apple links. As always, you can find this on your podcast listening of choice, and you can catch us on YouTube at Good People Media Group. I'm Erik. We got Dill, and of course, we have the newest member of the family, Everis. We will see you all very, very soon. You guys have a great day, and
Yeah.
have fun.
Bye.
Bye.